How's everybody doing today? Everybody calm down a little bit. Everybody cool off and kind of woo-saw after the rage that was going on yesterday. If not, hit the gym, go get a massage, do whatever you got to do just to kind of chill out. I know that the fiscal year has only been in effect for 2 days. The transfer window has been open for a little while now, but everyone seems to be just having a hard time with it. We're going to chat about that a little bit more today as well because I feel the frustration. I even share in it proportionately, but I'm also not going to the other end of that spectrum and immediately just writing off the season. So we're going to talk about a lot of that today, you guys. I got Ian jumping in the chat with me tonight to get involved, you guys. So it should be a fun little discussion. We're going to talk World Cup. We're going to talk midfield options. We're going to talk goalkeepers as well. So I want to get your thoughts, you guys. But first and foremost, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. We are on the road to 4K. I'm going to leave you with an intro, and I'll be back in a hot second. What's going on, Ian?
What's going on, guys? Evening, boss. You alright?
I am just living the dream, trying to stay cool. It is another hot one here, and like I've been saying, the company that runs the whole state can interrupt your air conditioning middle of the day. So I try my hardest to keep the house as cool as I can for as long as I can. But when you've got a multiple level house and you're sitting on the top level, it is only so much you can do.
I
But
couldn't
we're
believe that when you
surviving.
said that the other day. I told a wife, and she went, "What? They can cut it off?" Yeah. What? They
Yeah.
know? Did they give them? She said, "Did they give them notice?" I said, "I don't think so." She went, "Fuck that."
Well, it's peak. It's supposed to like the heat of the summer. Like they turn it off, so just so everyone's running their AC, it doesn't overload the power grid, I guess. But
Yeah.
I got someone literally coming out Monday to take because you have to opt into that program, and our previous homeowners who lived here
Opted
before
in.
us. So I got someone coming out Monday to take it and deactivate it because I'm like, fuck that, I'm not dealing with this
Yeah.
anymore.
Nah. That's what she said. If that was the case, we'd have to buy a generator.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's absolutely nuts. And it's funny, everyone here does have generators too because the
You
electrical
get snow.
infrastructure in the state of Michigan is also about 80 years old. So if a
Hmm.
butterfly farts next to a telephone wire, the whole city goes out of power. Like I lost power the other day because of something. I don't know. Our whole neighborhood was out of power. So that's why I had to
Mm.
push back the video the other day. But
It was
we're
about a
here.
month ago. We lost you in the middle of the show, didn't we?
Yeah,
For
it's yeah,
yeah.
it's annoying, man. It's super annoying. But hey, welcome to Michigan, you guys. But it is what it is. Before we dive in, you guys, to the fun conversation about summer business and midfield, especially because I've got some ideas on what I'd like to see happen. It is 60% off right now at Fanatics. They got a big 4th of July sale going on. So I did put one of those products down below. If you visit the channel's Twitter profile, I did put a link in there. So if you do want 60% off, there is some United gear that's 60% off right now as well. So Fanatics is legit stuff. It's not like getting something from GoGoShop or something. It's legit stuff. It's just sold through Fanatics. I think a lot of you guys are familiar with Fanatics anyway, but
Yeah.
pretty legit. So 60% off is a really good deal. So I always try to make sure when I see those deals, I throw those at you guys. And don't forget, GoGoShop, speaking of, you could still get $5 off if you use that code to register in the description of the video. $5 off is a big deal. The stuff's not expensive anyway. You can get player edition stuff for like 35 bucks. So it is what it is.
Oh yeah, it's like a quarter of the
Yeah.
retail.
Yeah. I'm not a fan of giving money to the club, and I broke my oath this season because obviously we've got the World Cup fantasy going on right now. I don't know who's leading that at the moment, but
A
the
certain man with initials DB who should go unmentioned.
but the winner of that is going to get a brand new 26-27 United shirt. So I did break my vow there. So I just wanted to help you guys out and show my love to everyone who's getting involved. Remember, you got to be subscribed to the channel, and you also have to win that. So hopefully everyone is getting involved. It's been fun so far. It's been a little confusing if you're like me and you don't do fantasy sports a lot. There's some things that I'm not aware of, but it is what it is. Rob
Oh,
Tapp is running it for the channel. Big
yeah.
up Rob. He's doing an excellent job. He's very, very helpful, very proactive with the communication and giving people heads up about stuff. So I'm very, very thankful that he's in charge and he's doing an excellent job.
I made a mistake this week. My team was fine, but I didn't do me boost, and it's cost me dearly,
Yeah.
very dearly this week. Yeah.
I
I've
think I
also
did the
got a
clean
massive
sheet one.
dilemma. Oh, did you? That's the one I
Yeah,
was thinking of. I
yeah,
was.
yeah.
I've got a dilemma. I've got Kane on 26 points. Do I risk Kane for Messi? And I'm thinking, like Rob said, what do managers do? Manage. And I said, that's hard. That makes decisions harder. Because
That's
if I
funny.
don't do it, I tell you now, if you want to know what players to pick, I'll post my team 5 minutes before registration of the next window. Anybody I've taken out, put them in, because everybody I've taken out and replaced has bettered the person I replaced them with. It just,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's
it's gone
always
wrong.
it's always how it works, right? I've just been pretty consistent. I've just been kind of sticking with Kane and Mbappe, and I just added Messi, and those are my front three now. So I'm like, whatever. I've got Manzambi, I've got Urenki, I've got Elise, Bruno's in there. I might be replacing Bruno. He hasn't really done a whole lot this World Cup, so
That's it. I had Elise for the first two games, and he wasn't amazing. So I
yeah,
changed it for Vinny. Vinny was crap. Elise was amazing. There's the prime example.
yeah.
Prime. So yeah.
It's interesting stuff. But we're gonna dive. We're gonna talk a little World Cup here in a second, you guys. So you guys, make sure you hit that
Mm.
like button. Make sure you subscribe. For those of you who are maybe a little frustrated that we haven't made any signings, we actually have made a signing. The women's team has made a signing. If you guys are not familiar with, we've announced the signing of a 22-year-old Spanish left back. Her name is Andrea Medina. We got her on a free because we can't even spend money on the women's team apparently. Um,
Crazy.
Interesting. I don't know if you watch any of the women's team. You know, I've watched it a couple times. Because there's a
Um,
our right back has actually played her college football like right down the street from us here in Michigan. So
Rolfo and that. They got
no,
Lucy.
it's
Right. We got.
we got Rafael Jade Riviere is the one who played down here.
Mm.
We seem to keep losing good players for free, and then we keep getting players for free. So we
Yeah,
did.
I think that's how the women's game works. I'm just waiting for us to get Kachawi because she's my daughter's favourite.
Oh
So
yeah.
that's what, yeah. Or
Now
she
we
knows her
the
sister or something like
Oh,
that.
right on, right on.
Mm.
We should care a little bit about the women's team, especially if there's anybody who's an Alex Scott fan, because I think his like sister-in-law or cousin or whoever is
Yeah,
Maya
Letitia.
Letitia.
He's
Yeah,
yeah. He's married to one of Letitia's cousins or sisters, something like
yeah.
that. Yeah.
So if you are an Alex Scott fan, that could be the end to maybe get him in here, but it's still going to cost a lot of money because why not?
Mm. There's
Thoughts
a
on
rumor
that
he's got a
too?
Spurs tattoo though. So
Yeah, what's up with these players, man? Morton Hillman's got an Arsenal tattoo and stuff. Like, why would you do that?
mm,
Like, I don't know. I mean, I could say I'm about to get a United tattoo at some point, so it is what it is. But
I've got my.
I told my wife I'm gonna get the badge right here on my chest where it is on the jersey and see and just wear it with pride.
I think I've told some people. I think I've probably told you. I've had this on my wrist. Can't see it good enough on this camera since I was 12.
Nice.
As my granddad took me to a game, and his idea was having it done, and my mum found out 2 days later. And
Mm.
let's just say, the bashing he took from my nan and my mum, he just walked out and went, "Don't care, they ain't getting rid of it," and that's it. He didn't care. It was
That's
irrelevant to
funny.
him. Mm.
Tattoos, guys. Once you get them, it's kind of like potato chips. It's hard to stop. Um,
Oh, absolutely.
I've got a couple here as well. You can see them on my arms and things. You know, it is what it is.
Here, here. I've got here, here,
Yeah,
here, here. Yeah, I'm covered.
you got me beat,
Unfortunately.
but it is what it is. Danny will be happy. One of these is a clada. I've got a clada here on my arm, so that works because my family's Irish, so it is what it is.
There you go.
All right, let's dive into this World Cup because it's been interesting. Obviously, we spoke about like Netherlands, Germany was a big shock bit. Let's talk a little bit about the latest round since then because Mexico, they're on a bit of a tear right now. Big up Julian Quinones. If you guys are doing fantasy, Quinones might be a good shout to add to your fantasy because this dude is getting a goal or an assist almost every game. It feels like for Mexico. I think he's been an absolute standout. I was thinking about. I don't know how if you guys would be interested. Ian, you can let me know if you'd be interested. I'm doing a
Mm.
video towards the end of the World Cup on players because obviously I did one ahead of time scouting. I might do one after the fact of like who stood out, who were some of the players that really kind of had an excellent
Yeah.
tournament.
Well, you could look at the ones you suggested and see how they got on as well.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a
yeah.
good idea.
Some of them are doing well, but yeah, Mexico are doing well. They beat Ecuador 2-0. I don't know if you caught that one at all.
I didn't, but I do know they've got to play England's ridiculously bad backline in
Yeah,
the next game. So
yeah.
fistful for this geezer, surely, quite
It's yeah,
surely.
England and it's in Mexico at the Azteca, which
Yeah, where they've lost like twice in
yeah.
27. Yeah,
Oh,
good.
they've
Yep.
lost. It's been like 80 games since they've lost there, dude.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
been nuts, man. So that'll be a good. It's I see it very different styles going on there. The way
yeah. I
Mexico has
think the
been playing.
one thing that stands for England, I saw somebody say, is at least Mexico won't put 11 men behind the ball. It's just not
Yeah,
their way. So
no, they've
that
been going
does
for it.
actually suit us. That it
Yeah,
could play into our hands because I do agree the better teams will slaughter us. If France play like they did the other night against that England did against Democratic Republic of Congo,
yeah.
then we would have got absolutely destroyed, and I mean destroyed. But you give us the space, we can be dangerous.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, while we're on, so obviously Mexico did well, 2-0. Ecuador went down to 10 men at some
Yes.
point too. Mexico are through. They do face England, but like on England, I mean, despite all the cautious, all the trepidatious, all the slow build-up from England, they did manage to come from behind and beat DR Congo 2-1 thanks to a brace from Harry Kane. He tried to make it a hat trick with a little bit of a dive. I still call it a dive. What do you guys think in the chat? Was this a dive from Harry Kane or was it not? Was it a pen?
I don't normally find myself. I think something has to be really bad for me to agree with Alan Shearer, right?
Yeah,
But one thing I will say is, right, the goalkeeper does never touch the ball,
you know.
right? Kane gets to the ball first, and whether he's going to go over or not, both of those goalkeepers' hands touch both of Kane's feet. You're right on them. Now, Shearer makes a point. Kane is under no obligation to jump over the goalkeeper. He doesn't have to jump over. It's not a rule. You've got as much right to run on the grass and go through that ball as the goalkeeper has to dive down and get it. Kane gets there first, and the goalie puts both hands on Kane's feet. Whether that insinuates the dive or not, or whether he's getting there or not, I'd say that's a penalty.
So Danny
I'm
Danny
sorry.
disagrees with you. I'm going to respectfully disagree as well. I thought so personally. I thought Kane he made that touch to go past the keeper, and I think what happened is he knew that touch was heavy. That ball was going out of touch, and I think Kane initiated the dive. I think he was in mid stride, saw that ball was not going anywhere, and then he plants both of his feet, and then he decides to dive. And yes, the keeper did get contact, but we know that contact is not always a penalty. Um,
But the
I think
keeper
I
has
think
to. If he comes out, the rules are the keeper has to get some of the ball. He gets none of the ball.
I think they looked more at the fact that Kane looked like he was pretty much already initiating that before he even got the contact.
All right. Does Kane get there if the keeper stays on his line?
No,
No, but
Kane does not get to that ball.
no. If the keeper's on his line, Kane gets to the ball before the defender, right?
I
Yeah.
think that
So
I
because
think
he's
that
ahead
touch.
of him,
I think
Kane touches the ball before the goalkeeper, even if he comes out. Even when he come out, he touches the ball first. So the goalkeeper has had no effect on the ball and every effect on Harry Kane's stride, whether he planted his feet or not. Like Shearer's saying, doesn't have to jump over the goalkeeper. It's not like I'm here, jump me. He doesn't have to do that. He could have just run straight over him. They don't because it's decency, but he's got as much right challenge for the ball. Brave goalkeeping, but he doesn't touch the ball at all. So if he doesn't touch Kane, if he moves his hands out of the way and Harry goes over, book him.
I
But
think
I think the ref didn't book him because I think he thought it was a penalty. But one thing I've got to say about that, but you can give it either way, right? I'm not saying stone wall, but the VAR call for a check, and then the referee disagrees and overrules doesn't check. So what's the point in VAR if the referee can overrule them and not check it? Did anyone see that?
I'm gonna
Because
I'm
they
gonna
put a
I'm
check.
gonna bring it up on the screen. Hold up.
Yeah. Put a check up on the thing though. They put a VAR check up. The ref looks at it, blows for the check, and then changes his mind, doesn't check the TV, and overrules VAR. So what's the point in VAR?
Uh, I'm gonna
Oh.
disagree with the whole. Like the keeper looks like he's not making any contact with him at all.
Yeah, when you see it from behind the goal, both of his hands he puts
Uh,
both of his hands on both of Kane's feet. I say I'm not called. I think the referee doesn't book him because he's 50-50. I think otherwise you got to book him. Why hasn't he
That's
booked him then? If it's a
that's a
dive,
that's a full-on dive right there, man.
why hasn't he booked him then?
Look at that. Look. You don't. No one falls like that naturally. Like no one. Like unless you're a
No,
cartoon, no one
but if
falls like
you
that naturally.
when he puts that foot down there, right? If the net it went there, that one when he puts that foot down, if the goalkeeper
Boom.
doesn't touch
He
his
kicks
foot, the
himself.
other one.
He kicks himself in the
Yeah, but
foot.
if the goalkeeper doesn't touch, yeah, because his foot's being stopped. That
All right,
foot,
hold
the
up.
planted
Let me
foot, is being stopped. But
let me see if I can
if we
find
can
it a
see another
longer one.
angle, the planted foot is being stopped by the goalkeeper's hand, so the other foot catches it up. Obviously, you go to kick a ball and I grabbed your foot in midair, your other one's going to catch it up.
I'm gonna see if I can find it. I can't find it on another angle. Hold on. Let me see if I can
But
find it.
honestly, just answer me: why doesn't he get a booking if it's a dive? And how is VAR relevant? Yeah, watch. How's he not touched him? Come on, guys.
I'll get demonetized. Hold
Yeah,
on.
go
All right,
on.
let's watch it again.
Mute it. Zoom right in, Sean. I'm telling you, he touches it foot. He touches it. No, you ain't going to see that angle. You need the first two shots. Yeah, this is going to be the best one.
Yeah.
Look, his hands are on his boot. You know, the question is, if it's not a penalty, it's Kane, not the ball.
I think if Kane hadn't like done what if Kane's body motion had been any different, I think that he probably would
It's
not.
the fact that both legs go
gotten
up
out.
at the same time. I agree with you. But like I said, if you were running and you kick, one of your legs is stopped dead still, the other one just catches it up.
Yeah, I think the way that Kane falls is the most unnatural way I've ever seen anybody fall in my life, where he's mid-stride, but then he decides to put both feet back on the ground together, literally the diving motion of a foot. Like you can't define, I don't know. Greg Louganis would be proud.
The only thing I will say is if you're running dead straight and you tripped, you could just fall straight. But if you're thinking about it, at the second before before the keeper touches him, he's trying to change direction, isn't he? Because he's moved the ball. So one of his feet is going one way.
But
who doesn't know?
Yeah, and that's my point. I think that it is what it is. It's one of those things where I don't know if there's it's 6 to 1, half a dozen to another for a lot.
Of course.
Danny's not having that this was a pen.
I'll tell you what, I guarantee we would be having it if it was United. That's all I'm saying. We'd have a different opinion. But I'll hold it because I'm not saying it's stone wall. Right, I ain't going to bat for it. But what I will say is the second argument is where's the booking for Kane then if it's a dive? Right? And why is VAR getting involved but the referee can tell them to piss off?
I mean, we've seen in situations before, though, where let's say you're watching a game in the Premier League and the defender will come in and there is contact, even if they don't make contact with the ball, but it's still not given as a pen either. Because, again, it goes back to what I said earlier, that not all contact is necessarily a pen.
No. Was it the Trafford one on us? Was it at the Etihad? We got the penalty, didn't we? Who took? Was it Ederson? We had a penalty against City where the ball didn't move, but the player got took out, didn't it? And they didn't get the double yellow because wasn't he already on a booking? I'm swear it.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of Schwarmer there. Shawarma,
No, I mean, shawarma does sound good. We got a shawarma place literally a block away from me. I might have to go get some of that.
Oh yeah,
I love me some shawarma.
Yum.
You guys do takeaway pretty good over in the UK. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh yeah, nah, we are there. We have got that down to a T, to be honest.
You guys have some pretty. You guys love your KFC too. I wasn't expecting to see KFC everywhere.
They are one of the sort of they're like the chicken version of McDonald's. That's what people in the UK refer them to. If you want real chicken, you go to.
Well, we have KFCs here. That's why I'm surprised. But you guys also have Chick-fil-A's now. You've got Dave's in downtown Manchester. Dave's is amazing.
We got Popeyes.
You got Popeyes too now. Look at you.
There's Popeyes in quite a few places now.
Getting American. You do have Wagamama. I do like Wagamama. That stuff's good.
Oh yeah, that's expensive whenever I go there.
Yeah.
Got two little munchers that just. See the size of them, the both of them, and they could put away more than a horse could eat. I tell you.
So needless to say, this is a moot point anyway because obviously England won 2-1.
Carry on, Sean. I'm just going to turn the light on.
No, you're all right. England did win 2-1, so I thought I thought Congo looked very, very, very good. They looked fearless. They were direct. I think taking off Stepenga definitely hurt them because he was probably their biggest threat down their left hand side, and yeah, I think that changed the whole dynamic. They'd lost a little bit of that direct, that aggressive attack when they took off Stepenga. He's probably been one
Oh,
of my standouts of the tournament so far, just the way he played. And he's like 28, 29 years old, I think. He's really good.
I
Um,
did watch. I did see you text 3, 2, 1.
oh
United
yeah,
linked with him. Yeah.
I just assume at this point, if a player has a good one-off performance, the United links. I mean, we saw it with Nemecha. We've already saw Nemecha links earlier in the season, but then as soon as he gets that goal for Germany, it's boom. Like all the reminders, like, oh, this is a player United have been linked with. It's not fresh links. It's all just reminding us that United have been linked to him in the
Well,
past.
I thought we were going to get it with the Paraguay goalie the other night. You could have
Yeah.
got it with the Democratic Republic. He had a stormer of a game until the end.
Mike, you definitely do have a Chick-fil-A in downtown Manchester. I've seen it. But you also have a Dave's Hot Chicken in downtown Manchester, which is
Yes.
better than Chick-fil-A, in my opinion.
Oh yeah.
I love Dave's. Like we have one probably about 20 minutes away. Oh, my wife will pick some up on the way home from work sometimes when she's working with one of the shelters. But yeah, she just got some last week. It was amazing. It is
City
better than
centre
Chick-fil-A.
Manchester is one of the best places out of the city centres in the main sort of big towns that have
Yeah.
got the best selection of non-high street food. So if you want something like Chick-fil-A, there'll be a chicken and chicken boom or something, and you'll just see this shop, and you look on thingy, and there'll be like 1,000 5-star reviews queue round the corner, and it's been
Yeah.
open a week because it's there's burger about there's more burger joints I think in Manchester than most other places that are not like McDonald's, Burger King
Mike,
type things.
so the Dave's is right over by the National Football Museum. It's pretty much right across that intersection where there's like that movie theater and the ballroom, I think it's called, where you can do like billiards and darts and stuff. So it's like right in that whole little area. Dylan and I we killed like 3 hours playing pool before the Salford game when we were downtown when we were there in the winter. So it was good times. What I need to do is I need to find a really good fish and chips spot in Manchester because I've yet to find one that's like
Been a long
I
time.
found some good fish and chips. I'm like, where's the one that is like the best in Manchester? That's the one I need to go find.
It won't be a city centre one.
No,
It'll be an older ends one, what we'd call the ends of Manchester, like Elmsden,
there was a place. It
like
was like Sam's
Cro-
Chop House or something. It was like in the basement of like another building that I've gone to that it was pretty decent as well. That was good.
off the beaten track ones that have
Yeah,
been there like 30, 40, 50 years, the same shop.
yeah. This
That's what
one's
you want
pretty
to look
old.
for.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, all right. So England through. They take on Mexico. I don't know. How do you feel about that? Do you feel like they could go?
Um,
I think Mexico
I
could
feel like it
upset
could
them
go
if
any
so.
way. I said it against Paraguay that we should wallop them if we've got any desire of winning the tournament. We didn't. I said that Democratic Republic of Congo I thought was a joke game, and we'd
Yeah.
absolutely tonk them like France the week before. Day before, and we didn't because it's. And I'll say this with any chest: this is the worst England squad, not players per player, but squad I think I've ever seen in my life, and I've watched
Yeah.
England since I was 10.
I
Um,
put it. I put it in the WhatsApp group
it's
the other night. Like, is this the best team that Thomas Tuchel could have selected to bring with
no,
him? Like, it
nowhere
doesn't
near.
feel like it to me. Is
I
it
mean,
just that there's not that many good English players, or is it he
yeah.
just didn't pick the good ones? Like, I don't understand.
How's Kobe not getting a game? Declan
Yeah.
Rice is injured for one game and then he still doesn't get a game. Jordan Henderson comes on before him. It's
Why
embarrassing. I
bring
mean,
Reece
who is
James? I
Ruben
don't
Amorim in
understand.
charge?
I don't understand why
Exactly.
you even bring Reece James. The guy is Chelsea captain. He's never fit, like
Jarrell
ever.
Kwanzaa as a backup right back is just a joke. I don't mind Nico Riley as sometimes I think he's a better midfielder. He can't play left back. He's Bambi on ice. Um, Pickford's looked like the worst I've ever seen him. I don't overly rate him, but that's the worst Pickford I've ever seen. If you tell me that defence isn't better with Maguire and Shaw, you're just anti-United. So
Yeah, I feel like
you
Maguire is
know,
almost tailor made for the way that these teams are. Like,
playing
most
against
teams are
us.
sitting deep. There's a lot of crosses going into the box and
Mm,
stuff. I feel like Maguire's just tailor made to deal with that.
yeah,
But Thomas
and
Tuchel, man, he's I'll tell you what, who did not look great the other night was Spence. He just did not look like he gave a shit.
no, no, I don't think anyone's looked good. honestly, I don't think anybody has stood out for me in more than 45 minutes in any one game. Like any decent. I thought Madueke was decent in the first game, and he sort of showed it in flashes in that game. Rashford was absolutely shocking, but still better than Gordon.
Yeah.
Bellingham can run around all he likes and show passion, but I'm
Bellingham
sorry,
was not
he's a
good the other night
he's
at
a
all.
terrible number 10. He never runs past Kane, not once. It was shite. I thought Elliot Anderson is a joke. I think Man City might be looking for their receipt. I mean, that was the crappiest performance I've ever seen
It wasn't. I
the other
think that
night.
I
It
just
was
don't
a
think
joke.
Tuchel suits these
No,
players personally.
not at all.
I don't think that he is the way he wants to play. I don't think it's like
Also,
the build up, the
yeah,
cautious. Like I just don't think it suits these players.
the build up is side to side to side to side.
Yeah.
No team in the whole competition has made as many passes between their centre backs or to their centre backs in the final third than England. The other day, our centre backs made more forward passes than any of our forward players. So
This is why you
it's
don't trust center
Mark
back
Gay is
pass
the most
completion
creative player.
stats, guys.
Yeah, it's rubbish. We're trying to play out from the back with two midfielders that don't play out from the back.
Yeah.
We've left the best one of those on the bench and the other best one at home. So,
It's
yeah,
weird,
we want to
man.
play fullbacks that overlap or cut inside, but we've got two people that have never played fullback in their life when Reece James isn't playing. It's pathetic. It's the worst team ever.
I agree with Danny. I think England's run could end in Mexico in the next
I
round.
honestly wanted it to end the other night. I'm not joking. I did. It's because he's a joke. He's an absolute pathetic joke. But I'll tell you what, I'm more than glad he's an England manager over United manager because
Oh yeah.
United first every day. And all those people that were crying, going, I want Tuchel instead of Carrick. Do you? Do you want Nigelsmann still instead of Carrick?
No.
But you don't now, do you?
Speaking of teams being hard done by, Senegal somehow managed to let go of their 2-0 lead to let Belgium come from behind.
Couldn't believe it.
Literally 2 goals in the last 10 minutes of regular time and then sent it to added extra time. And then Belgium get a pen and just get. I thought Senegal looked really good. I thought that goal from Ismail Assar deserved a result at the end of the day. It was such a good goal. I love is you guys know how much I like Ismail Assar. I think he's an absolute gem of an attacker. Playing in that right-sided 10 for Palace has really. It's kind of like Ousmane Dembele. It's added another layer to his game because he was just a traditional wide player, like a winger. Back when we were linked to him when he was still at Watford, I think, when Ollie was in charge. And playing more centrally now and operating in those channels has really kind of added like that croupy, that Dembele kind of vibe to his profile now.
Yeah, it's almost a bit like a slightly wider Gibbs White. I call it the false 10. Not the false 9, it's a false 10.
Yeah,
he's not this or that. Yeah, I like him.
Yeah, that goal was very, very good. It deserved more. But now Belgium are through as well, which is annoying. And the award for worst shirt of the tournament goes to Belgium, by the way, with this monstrosity. It looks like someone trying to learn how to tie-dye, and that was like the first attempt. It
looks like they forgot the kit and just did that in the locker room.
It looks like a unicorn threw up on him. This is weird.
They have a competition at the local nursery. Who wants to be the third World Cup kid?
Like, what is that supposed to be? It look like flower petals, but the way that they're like cut off in these vertical lines, it's very.
Also, is it the only reason they can't wear red? I don't, because I think it can only be because they're red and yellow, and there's yellow on the Senegal kit. That's the only thing I can think of.
What does that matter, though? I don't
exactly.
Get it. It's green and red. It's two opposite colors. It makes no sense.
Can the ref not tell the difference between red and green?
I have no idea.
He shouldn't be a ref if that's the case.
I'm gonna blame it on the Glazers somehow. It's the Glazers' fault. I'm gonna pull a Gary Neville and blame it on the Glazers.
Yeah, it's all the Glazers' fault. Standard.
I stayed up late to watch this one because the U.S. handled Bosnia 2-0 last night. We went up 1-0. Fer Balogun was shown a red for, honestly, something that was never a red, in my opinion. Honestly, if that's a red for Balogun, then I don't know what to make of Messi's challenge against Algeria that literally did not get a look at all. Messi literally rakes the back of the dude's calf, like calf high with his studs. Goes on in the same play just to score a goal, and it's never even talked about. But Balogun is just wrestling with the player, falls over and accidentally steps on his ankle, and that's deemed a red. Like, I just don't get it, man.
Yeah. I,
It is what it
I
is.
didn't see it. I was going to ask you guys about it because I knew you
Yeah.
would have watched it. And Rob was saying to me before late, he's out, I was going to stay up and see make sure Balogun's in. And then I saw the goal and I was like, Rob's going to be loving that. And then when I woke up in the morning and saw he got sent off, I was like, that is going to
Yeah,
sting.
it was never a red in my opinion.
No,
Can't keep
everyone
us
said the
down
same.
though. Malik Tillman scores what I think has been the goal of the tournament so far with a
Oh,
brilliant
it's a
direct free
strike.
kick. Perfect. And I was saying to myself, like, obviously because I wasn't watching with anybody, but I was watching this and it seemed like we were trying to find Pulisic a little too much. And I'm like, you got Malik Tillman right there and you're not really, and I'm like, we need to get him involved. We need to get involved. And then about 5 minutes later, he has a little back heel flick that finds Pulisic that ended up being offside. And then he hits him with the free kick as well. Like, we need to get Tillman more involved moving forward
Yeah.
because he is absolutely a threat that we're not utilizing enough, in my opinion.
We said that after your first game, didn't we? We said you could have put the more to the sword as well because you were constantly going for Pulisic. Even though there was so much room on the right-hand side, it was all being fed through to
Yeah.
Pulisic. So, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't think. I think we need to get some of these. Like, we have better players than Pulisic. I think Tillman, in my opinion, is a better player than Pulisic. But it is what it is. Rob says the Donald needs to overturn that. We're gonna overturn everything. It was never a red.
I've sorted it out. I've tweeted FIFA. It's okay.
Well,
Brown
again, I said
envelopes on the way.
it's never a red.
Yeah.
That was a horrible Donald Trump impression, by the way. Will we get
can't do it
Belgium
either.
next? And I think that could be
That's a buy
very
for you.
big-
It's literally a buy.
We're
It
gonna
is.
see.
Honestly, if you lose to them, again, I thought it was embarrassing that they were through. They're the second worst team behind, I can't even forget the team who got sacked their manager after the first game.
Oh, Tunisia.
Tunisia. Tunisia are the worst I've seen, but Belgium collectively are the worst team in the tournament, I think, because at least
But they seem
Tunisia
to
were
just,
trying.
come up with they just pull something out of their ass in like the final 10 minutes. They have scraped by now a couple times, so you could be onto something because their luck could run out. This is not the first time that Belgium have managed to just snatch it late this tournament.
Oh no! Do you know their main threat isn't De Bruyne though? Because did you see in the group Rob posted a little thing of the most creative players in the World Cup so far? Do you know who's the most creative? No, chances created. He hasn't got the most assists, but I think it's Trossard by a lot, not a few, a lot.
Well, is that just
Like,
because
well
he
over
puts
100
crosses in the box over and over again?
Yeah. He's
And he takes the set pieces?
yeah. Well, they've got close to chances. I think De Bruyne takes most of the set pieces. But yeah, chances created. They haven't scored them, but chances created. He's way up. Rob might put in the chat if he knows the number off the top of his head. But yeah, it's ridiculous.
Doku worries me. I think Doku is just amazing. I think that his explosiveness, his close control, the directness, the way he can dribble through. Like, Rashford probably wakes up just dreaming about how he
Dribble
can
like
get
Doku.
through players like Doku does. Rashford has spent the last 10 years of his career trying to do what Doku does in his sleep sometimes. Like,
I think Doku does very much. Not a lot of people can do it, but like Mbappe, his close ball control is phenomenal, but his burst of speed over 2 or 3 yards is so quick you can't turn and live with it. So he beats you with movement and pace, not necessarily skill. Not that he doesn't have skill, but it's the ability to explode past someone that you can't live with.
yeah, you just have
impossible.
to foul him. You're just gonna have to and take a yellow every now and then. Like, get some fouls on him early on, so you can just kind of let him know.
I do think you're strong in the fullback, but your fullbacks are going to need both of the wingers to track because that's what they're going to try and do to you. They're going to try and send them past you every time.
I think our defense is set up to cope with the way Belgium play. They do put a lot of these balls in the box for Lukaku, and I thought Tim Ream had a really good match last night. He was doing a Harry Maguire kind of job, just cleaning up, doing the simple things, always just like a calm, steady presence at the back. I thought he did really, really well. But we are going to see
at least
how
if they
it goes.
start Lukaku, Sean, you'll know what you know what the game plan is. It's balls in constantly from anywhere.
Yeah,
That's it.
we're
That's all
gonna,
that's going to happen.
and it's not to me. I worry less about marking Lukaku, and I demand more that players put pressure on that ball in wide areas. That's something that's
Yeah.
such a
It's a
pet peeve
second
of
ball.
mine. It's such a pet peeve of mine when the opposition has a ball at the edge of the box and there's nobody closing it down.
Yeah. I
United do it
mean,
all the time.
yeah. They are terrible, but De Bruyne is capable of magic. And if you give him a second, we all know the ability on the
Yeah,
cross is phenomenal.
yeah.
So, yeah,
Need to get some
even
bodies
Lukaku.
on that.
Yeah.
Pulisic, these guys need to track back a little bit, put pressure. We've got pace in the counter, we've got players in the counter, and we've got quality. We just need to make sure that
That,
we
that's where
defend.
your weapons are on the counter
Yeah.
because they're not quick. Belgium are not quick.
Spain versus Austria. If you guys watched this one, just ended a little bit ago. I'll try to get you guys out of here in time for Portugal Croatia. Oyarzabal, he opened the scoring in the first half, make it 1-0, and then Pedro Porro comes storming into the box to head home across from Baena to make it 2-0 late on in the second half. And then just before we went live, Oyarzabal made it 3-0. Yeah, so Spain beat Austria 3-0. Ralph Ragnick's men are out of the World Cup. I thought Austria looked decent for a little while. I think, again, like we were speaking about before we went live, it reminded me a lot of that Champions League final between Dortmund and Real Madrid, where Dortmund were well drilled, they worked hard, they knew their jobs. It's just the quality in the Spain side just
Yeah.
outdid it in the end. Like Spain just have really good players.
At the end of the day, hard work can only get you so far. But if you've got
Yeah.
hard work and quality, yeah, it's the moment.
Yeah. So let me look. Let me
It's a
bring up
shame.
the bracket here now, because now we are updated on this bracket. The left hand side is almost done. We got Portugal, Croatia. The winner of that one will get Spain. It's going to be Paraguay, France, Canada, Morocco, U.S. versus Belgium
Goodbye,
here.
Canada.
Yeah, goodbye Canada for sure.
Yeah, and goodbye, Paraguay. But
Yeah.
imagine if Paraguay could do France and Germany back to back. I
Oh
mean,
man.
honestly, please. I
If
just,
Paraguay just park a bus and go on a counterattack, like that would just be
I
everything
would
there.
love it so much. I would love it so much.
Teams yet to play. So obviously Portugal, Croatia. We've got Switzerland versus Algeria later on tonight. It's 11 o'clock my time kickoff, which is
Yeah,
gross.
I can see nothing but Switzerland in that. Honestly,
Colombia, Ghana could be interesting. Australia versus Egypt.
yeah.
Would love to see Mo Salah get knocked out,
God's
and
help,
then
please. Yeah.
Argentina, Cape Verde. Argentina have a really easy quadrant here in the bracket.
Is
So
the only question with Argentina how many? Is
yeah.
there any chance Cape Verde upset them? I've gone for a no. I'd have,
What's worth more points in fantasy, a clean sheet or saves? Because I might have to go ahead and start Vecina in this one, just if he's going to
Rob,
get
I'd have to
prep for
tell
the
you. I
goals.
think to get like bonuses like that, you have to make a lot. But I mean, goals win games, and I think if well, Harry Kane got 26 points for me as captain the other day with 2 goals.
Yeah,
So, and he didn't have many more shots. So,
I need to
but
find some of
I
these
mean,
players
Messi
that no one
could,
else is using, so I can get a little extra points
yeah,
out of here.
Messi could seal the golden boot in this game if they go to town. If they really try, which they've got to, it's a knockout game. But I'm afraid Cape Verde might have gone a step too far now. Not that I think the Argentina are this great team, because I actually don't.
Yeah.
But if Leo wants to be Leo, then I mean,
Well, we already know he's not going to get a red card for anything that deserves a red
oh,
card.
you
So
can't send him off. It's
he's
not
in for the
allowed.
shout.
Yeah,
Corrupt. And people wonder why I don't really put a whole lot of stock in the World Cup, because Ronaldo should not have even played the first couple of games. Messi should have been sent off and missed the entire group stage pretty much. It's just nuts, man. Interesting
stupid.
though, like, what's everyone's thoughts on the fact, okay, Miroslav Klose has the World Cup goal record that stood for 12 years, and then all of a
Yeah,
sudden it's just getting completely shattered. And I feel like this has a lot to do with the shift we've seen in football over the last decade in general, where people like to compare like numbers from like Trent or Salah to players from like the 90s, like Becks and whatnot. And I think it's just a completely different game. And I think the World Cup is also showing just how much more reliance there is on these kind of players than maybe we used to, or maybe just goals in general have gone up over the last couple of decades in general.
absolutely. Also, if you're comparing someone's stats from now to someone who played in the 90s, even, it's completely different. Even the greatest season of a player in the 90s, an average to good season this season, and the reason they do that is because then it can boost the look of their stats even more. Because as we all well know, you can go look how good Elliot Anderson is, but when you statistically compare him to Sangare, you'd laugh
Yeah.
because he gets destroyed. And that doesn't look good if you're trying to make a point for Elliot Anderson, does it? So that's why they use it like that. But it's just not, it's non-comparable. But it's also non-comparable now, because I'm telling you now, the 90s England team that were Beckham and the kick in Simeone, if that England team played that the other night with Harry Kane, we'd be winning the World Cup. And I mean winning it. Don't even think about it. We would destroy teams with that squad. Just Beckham to Kane on its own would win the game. But we'd have Rio and Campbell, Scholes, Gerrard. Just forget about it. We would be destroying people.
Depends on who the coach is, because you had all those players under
it was Sven.
and there was
it was Sven, wasn't it?
Sven, nobody tried. So it's interesting. It's gonna be a fun World Cup. I think U.S. Belgium is gonna be very fun. Portugal Croatia is gonna be interesting tonight, and we got some good little matchups coming up. So
can anybody else see anybody but France though?
I thought going into it, I was thinking this could be Portugal's year, but they haven't convinced me. At least early on in the group stage, they weren't super convincing. But I think the issue is Bruno is just not doing enough. I don't know, something in the Portugal midfield is just not clicking for me. I don't know if it's
all this weird little hierarchy that Martinez employs, and some reason Bruno's about fourth on that pecking order, and it's all about Cristiano. So.
We need to find Bruno a little bit more, because I don't know why. Like João Felix and Bruno on the pitch at the same time don't really work for me. They're it's redundant. I think that it's just not working.
That's
João Neves and Vitinha look really good for PSG. It's not really translating to the Portugal side.
That's because they've got Fabian Ruiz, who will happily just drop a little bit deeper and let Vitinha go off and do his thing.
Who else? You mean who else? Because he's Spanish.
No, but PSG.
Oh, you mean at PSG?
Yeah. So that's why it works for them like that. But I'm afraid with Portugal, until they move on, it ain't never going to work. And plus, that back line ain't holding Mbappe.
I'm trying to think who's the right back for Portugal, because Dalot hasn't really played a lot.
They play what's his name? They played the Semedo, wasn't it? Nelson Semedo. Yeah, and who was the other one? It's Nelson Semedo, and I can't think of the other one, but I swear he plays for Porto.
Interesting. Yeah, somebody let us know if you can remember who the Portuguese right back, because I can't remember. We'll find out. I mean, we could look right now. It'll show it on
the right back in the first game. They took him off and played Semedo, and then started Semedo in the next two games. Oh, there you go. Yeah, of course it is. Yeah, of course it is.
All right. Well, there's the World Cup latest round for you guys. Like I said, Portugal, Croatia kick off in about an hour. We will do our best to get you guys out of here in time for that one. But we are going to move on to some United news now. So please make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe, you guys. We're on the road to 4K. Share it if you have a second. If you're watching on X, please consider jumping over and hitting that like button, because it does make me feel all warm and fuzzy inside. And it is free, and it helps the channel. So big up everybody. Some news to start off with. Obviously, the women's team have a signing. Shirt numbers. Does anyone else find it weird that United put out a special article on their website all about what shirt numbers are available going into this season? So I don't look at the United website too frequently. Is this a thing that we do regularly? Is this like, I don't understand why we're putting out articles on what shirt numbers are available going into next season. Like I don't get it.
I've never heard of anything like that before. The only time I've heard of articles about shirt numbers is when we're giving them to people that don't deserve them. And that's the only time.
Mason Mount.
Excuse me. Sorry. No, Marcus Rashford. No. But I think it's United are looking for any reason to make out that we are working on some sort of transfer, as if to say, these big numbers need us, And
that was literally my next question. Are we hyping up potential numbers for new signings? Like
yeah,
that's
well, my brother
literally
sent me
on
a
my sheet
message
here.
this afternoon going, Bowen's staying at West Ham. I went, how do you know that? And he went, because he's in the new kit on the front of the stadium. And I went,
Well,
well, there you
that
go
doesn't
then.
really mean anything, does it?
No, but I no, it doesn't. But you would be a bit stupid to put that up and then sell him. I just think that just makes,
I mean,
you know how much that costs to do. Ain't
kind of
cheap.
like kind of like putting all posters all over your brand new stadium saying home of Champions League football and your Spurs and you're not in
True.
Champions League. So it's, um, no, I mean that's happened before. It's I'm not gonna. I mean, I don't buy into like money talks. Literally, someone could come in and offer a lot of money for Bowen, and he'll be gone tomorrow. Like
I see
it
his
is what
point.
it
I
is.
know what he's getting at, but
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know, yeah.
I hear it. But yeah, I
I
just thought it was weird.
certainly
Again, the question was, is that a normal thing that we do? Because I maybe it's just the
no.
first time I've noticed it, but I'm like, that's weird to me.
I've got to say, I can never remember an article about. I mean, I'm sure I've read something about classic
Down.
United numbers and who's worn the shirt, and it's been a decade since Brian Robson wore this, and Cantona and Beckham, and
Yeah.
talking about the shirt. But actually, what ones are free at the moment? It seems a bit of a like an unfortunately leaked email where someone's made it public. Do you know what I mean?
I'll tell
For
you what
like
I
an
would like to
internal.
see done is what Roma did with Totti's number. I'd like to see us retire the number 11 for good. I think when one player wears it for that long and they have the kind of career that Giggsy had, I think that number needs to be retired. Personally, but that's just me.
I
There is a
think the
Giggs
only
jersey right here
reason.
that you can't see, so I might be biased.
No. I couldn't argue. I couldn't disagree with you. I think the problem you've got is if you couldn't find many to argue with you on the 11, but if you're gonna take that number, you'd say the 7 as well. Then whose? Are you retiring Robbo's jersey, Cantona's jersey, Beckham's
Yeah.
jersey, Ronnie's jersey,
Well,
and
the reason
before
I think
that,
it's different is
you
because so
know,
many different players have worn the 7 and only one player wore the 11 for like 2 decades.
yeah, I think more of like we have, but like in the hall, like the honours hall, you can see the shirts, and there are multiple number 7s with multiple players. Um, I like the idea of retiring it, but the problem you've got, Sean, is eventually you're going to get to the point where what number is, and it'll start looking like a bit strange. I think
I don't
I get
care.
the sentiment, but no, I get the sentiment though.
Yeah, I definitely retired at number 11. But it is what it is. But I thought it was weird. I want to get everyone's thoughts. Yes, Debasi, they are redoing the dugouts because UEFA has a new rule now where you've got to have 20 spots in the dugout. So I think we're upping
Yeah,
ours to 21. So
they've got
remember
to have certain
people,
gaps
yeah.
and a medical space and everything now as well.
Always
So
keep in
all
mind
that.
UEFA has a set of rules and the leagues have a set of rules, whether that's finances or dugouts or whatever. Like again, the SCR for the Premier League is different than the SCR for the UEFA. So if you're in Champions League or Europa League, you are operating under a 70% law, where if you're only in the Premier League, it's 85%. So we have
Yeah.
to operate under a 70% of the squad cost ratio going in the new season, not an 85%. So it's not as good
Nope.
as it initially sounds. So, but them's the
Nope.
breaks. All right, let's talk about the nitty gritty. The elephant in the room,
Bits and bobs.
the odds and ends here. Because let me set this up. So obviously, the midfield market has been, we'll call it, shaken up for lack of a better word. For us as well, because we need midfielders. Midfielders right now are going for crazy, stupid high rates. I mean, seriously, who thought Spurs would ever be the club to completely fuck the market for Premier League midfielders? Like, it's absolutely ridiculous. I actually texted friend of the channel and football agent James Featherstone last night about it, and he was not shocked about the prices for midfielders. He reiterated how important the position in general is. He was flabbergasted by the fact that it was Spurs who were the ones spending the big money. And I think
Yep.
we all are. But he said that he did let me know because he's got a little insight as well. He did say Spurs' massive spending likely has to do with the Lewis family, who are the new partial owners, trying to get Daniel Levy trying to dilute Daniel Levy's kind of stake in the club, because Daniel Levy is still a minority shareholder, and
Hmm.
and all this influx of cash from the Lewis family is an attempt to kind of dilute some of that and kind of push him out a little bit. So there is
Yeah.
a bit of an ulterior motive to it, if that makes sense. That being said, they're still
Yes.
signing the players, so it still sucks for everyone else. But
Oh yeah, they are. They're still spending the money. Well, like you said though, they don't have to compete do the 70%. They can do the 90%. And also the position that club are in,
yeah,
like you said, I think it's a little bit of proving they can, showing the new manager they can, but also like you said, it's a bit of a to Daniel Levy. But
yeah,
he's held onto those purse strings so tight. And
yeah.
the amount of money that club does, I mean, they're not a poor club. They do generate quite a bit of money,
I need to
especially
ask.
with that stadium.
I need to reach out to Kieran McGuire though to ask because there's a lot of clubs now who like Spurs. Their stadium is not just for football. Their stadium is for concerts. They've got NFL. I need to ask how much, if the revenue for those things are allowed to be used for anything Spurs related, if it wasn't Spurs related events that took place there. Because some of these clubs don't even own their stadium. Like West Ham don't
God,
own their stadium. And so the events that they do there and stuff, like West Ham have to pay rent on that stadium and
they do
whatnot.
now, yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
And so
Mm.
also when you take out loans for the stadium, the people that this is why the clubs don't usually work with banks because banks don't really that's a
No.
risky investment. They'll go through third parties, which is what United do all the time.
Yeah,
So
you get investment funds,
don't
don't you?
believe that it's like a huge thing that United do it. All clubs do it. But before you start spending the money on transfers and whatnot, the money that you come in, like off the top, goes towards the people who have financed your stadium. Basically,
Yeah,
they want to get paid before you start going to spend money on players. Basically,
that's it. I think
it's
Spurs put a lot of the money, the stadium, on finance, but
yeah.
I mean,
Well,
just
they
that
definitely didn't
it
put it
didn't.
towards transfers because Poch
Nah,
got fuck all.
there was a they reportedly made 2 million out of the Beyonce concerts alone.
Oh wow.
So
So it's there's some in there. I hope that we don't go that route. I do like that we do
well,
things. The old, I
that
guess I don't. I'm
that
hesitant to
circus
call it the
tent has got a
proper
stage
way.
in it, Sean.
Oh fuck this circus tent, man. Fuck that. I don't. What I mean is I don't. I hope we don't go we rent the stadium route and
Oh
it's owned
hell
by
no.
somebody else. I
Yeah,
don't care
no,
if it's used for other events. I don't really care about that
no,
honestly.
but
If
we've
that
got to
helps
own
us.
it.
Yes, we have to
Yeah.
own it. The same reason, like you need to own, like if there's restaurants and stuff inside the stadium, rather than and it's why we also don't have like shirts sold elsewhere. We have the mega store. People come from all over the world to go to the mega store. We don't take out shirts in stores throughout the city like other clubs do. But as far as midfielders go, so Ederson, check. You can put a little check mark next to Ederson. That's as good as. Mateus Fernandez, off the list. Sandro
On,
Tonali, off the list. Elliot
on.
Anderson, off the list. Chouameni, still a question mark. And I think that one could hinge on what happens with
City
Enzo
again.
Fernandez.
No, today City have bid for Camavinga today.
Oh, have they really?
Yeah,
Have they actually
and
bid for him, or is that just a
yeah,
Ben
yeah. No,
Jacobs thing?
Fabio said the talks between City and Real Madrid after
Never
Jose
talks.
green lighted. Well, Jose green lighted
Yeah.
the Camavinga to leave. So if he does, there is no way Tchouameni's leaving in at the same time. It's just not
Well, and
happening.
this is kind of what I put in. I put a poll in
Um,
the chat because I think I forget who mentioned it earlier, but I was thinking kind of the same thing. I think for this could be the Chouameni thing. I think if there's any possibility in that, I don't think that is going to happen until August because I think it's going to
oh,
have a lot to do with what his game time under Mourinho looks like. They've got potentially Enzo Fernandez coming in. They picked up Bernardo Silva as well. Who else did they? I feel like they got another midfielder. If I can
well, they
remember.
got Nico Paz back, but they sold him to
Yeah.
Como. So that was
And so if they start the first couple matches and Chumeni's not playing, I think that could be like a Casemiro like deadline day kind of get him over the
late
line
type
kind
thing.
of a thing. That's almost makes you feel like that could come down to the wire. Alex Scott question mark, Nemecha question mark, etc. etc. Sander Burge has been linked. Ayari was linked last week. João Gomez to Atletico Madrid is off. They have pivoted to Morten Hulman because they
England.
don't like George Mendes, apparently. Surprise, surprise. All
no,
right, does anyone still want João Gomez, or are you just done with George Mendes? Is like I
no,
am.
no Mendes, none, nothing to do with him. Zero. I don't care who.
So the
No
point
one.
is, so the question we were trying to get today is who's left in the midfield market? At what point do you overspend? What play would you overspend on? Who would you want to bring in? And I put a poll in the chat when it comes to like a marquee signing. Let's say you qualified Chouameni as a marquee signing. Are you willing to wait till August to get that done if it's a player that is like upper tier one player, or would you
Mm.
rather just get everything done early so you have the squad? So I put that in the chat. Ian, you can get your thoughts in on any of this in terms of midfielders. What do you
Well,
like?
on the poll, I don't want to wait. I'm not prepared to
Mm,
wait just in case because it's not a guarantee. It's not like we're waiting for him to finish doing something and when he comes back he's signing.
yeah,
That's not. No,
yeah,
no. Um, when it comes to the other midfielders, I think obviously we all know the ones that are not available. When it comes to midfielders now that are available, I think in the price range, let's be facing it, it's 70 to 90 million for a midfielder in the Premier League now, no matter who you're
yeah,
talking about.
yeah. It's really
Um,
annoying.
um, unless you're talking about like Sanderbergs, Iari. I mean, I still
Yeah.
think we should go for the kid from Sunderland if they're going to.
Oh,
Um,
Sadiki.
yeah, I'd rather him than Sanderberg or Iari personally. But I think there's only for me. I don't mind Alex Scott as a player, but he's no way a £70 million player. That's a joke. If we pay the same amount of money that we would have paid for Fernandez for him, just Bournemouth are prepared to accept it. It'll still be well too much. I think the only player anywhere near what the club's going to want for him that is worth it is Walton
Yeah, I agree.
in the Premier League. Only in the Premier League. Outside of the Premier League, I think it's where our business should be. Um, we all know. We think it's. I just go to France with 100 million and come back with Buwadi and
Yeah.
Sangari.
Going to
Um,
France with 100 million is like going to Aldi with $200 in your pocket. You're
yeah,
like king.
exactly.
You're a freaking king. It's
I
not-
mean, we it's been shown today. Newcastle have stolen off Brentford. They've got Basamana Toure. That's a here we go. That was done.
yeah,
30
that's a
million quid.
significant bummer
30
for me.
million pound. That's a joke. It upsets me greatly.
What was the
You
price?
know, 30 million.
What was the add-ons?
Didn't say. That'll
Because I
that'll
know
come
that
out though.
Hoffenheim were holding out for a record for him, and the
That
record was
that
up to
what
like
that
35 million or something.
yeah. But that will come out. But they're in on the mean Kamara. I mean, these are the players
Yeah,
that we need to take the risk on. And I don't think Buwadi's a risk, and I don't think Sangare's a risk. And
yeah,
it does look like United have had to sort of take their transfer plan and do this because the players that were further down now are at the top because all the ones at the top are gone
yeah,
or
and
they're
that's
well
and
out of
that's the
our price
point.
range.
Yeah, and that's the point I was getting at today
Mm.
because the options out there are starting to dwindle
Limited,
a little bit. But the
very
prices seem
limited.
to keep increasing. And that's the thing. Like,
Yeah.
what would you do at this point? Who would you
Well, this is the
prioritize?
problem. I got to prioritise the midfield. I would go out of the Premier League. I personally would because we're just going to keep spending and spending and spending. I'd go and get why other teams are looking at other players, and until before Chelsea get any money, because they're just stupid. They'll just copy what we're doing, like Spurs. Let's go and get Bawadi now. While Real Madrid are looking at Enzo, and no one else is it. He's not interested. Offer him all the first team football he wants. 60, 65. But one thing I want to say, did you hear? It's very clear. Lille, and I saw Ornstein repeat what Fabrizio said about it. Lille have got 2 deals, and it doesn't matter which one you want, but you can have either one. 70 million now, but they get him for a year on loan. I think you said it in the last show. Or 80 million and you take him home with you. So you pay less, but you have to wait a year, or you pay more, but you can have him now. So what would everybody rather do?
If you don't get Buwadi, if you let him back for a year, you still have to go get another midfielder.
Exactly.
So
So
it's just about
uh,
do you want to have him regardless,
yeah,
and there's no guarantee on what could happen over the course of that year, and then you're still on the hook for 70 million.
oh yeah, you've got to take him. You've paid the money. Yeah,
You know,
that's it. There's no
80
more to
million is
pay.
not that big a difference, honestly.
No, that's what I said. 10 million, you're not getting anybody.
The question
You're not
is,
getting a single player to replace him for 10 million, are you? The difference for a year. You
yeah,
ain't.
that's still a lot. Like we paid a lot, for my opinion, for Lenny Yoro, who had similar to Buwadi, a really good season in Lille. I think he was in the team of the season for Ligue A that year
He
before
was.
we got
Yeah.
him as well. It's a good question, for 80 million now, because again, we talked about the other day, transfer fee itself is not that big a deal because
No. and
It's
his
just
wages are
yeah.
nowhere near the sort of 250 grand they're paying
It's
Mateus
just about the
Fernandez. Is
structure of the
ridiculous.
deal itself. I
Exactly.
like Buwadi. I think he's looked good this tournament. Obviously, we've talked about Buwadi a
Mm.
lot. So you're like you would take Buwadi and who else? And
Sangare.
you would take
It's
Sakari.
a
You don't
it's
think
a
they're
it's
too
a
similar?
no, I don't. I
No.
think if you look at the four we'd have, so we'd have Edison, Kobe, Sangare, and Buwadi. I think you could really legitimately play any one of the three with Kobe, or any two of the other four together. I mean, if you fancy a bit being a bit maybe a bit more energetic and a bit more in their people's face, you go Sangare and Edison. If you want to be a bit more slicky, keep the ball, you go Bawadi and Kobe. But you've got options. This is what most people do. They have two sixes, two eights, or four players that can do both jobs. And
Mm,
we're going to be like we said, and I pointed out in my rebuild. It's all about keeping the ball for United. Carrick ball's all about keeping the ball and moving us through the thirds quickly, right? We need people who can ball in the middle, not necessarily win tackles, but ball. And Brady does the whole lot for me. I would happily pay 60, 70 million for him now. If I wouldn't, don't want to loan him back for a year. So if it takes 80 to get him, do I think that's expensive? Yes. But like you said rightly just now, that's paid over 5 or 6 years. He
yeah.
won't be on anywhere near 200 grand a week, probably be on about 120, right? And we've got a good relationship with Lille. Lenny can help us get us in the door. I bet Euro knows him because they were both at Lille at the same time. And guess what? But super agent Maz just happens to be, oh yeah, at the World Cup with him. So let's have a little word. Oi, just give me the nod and I'll tell my boss that your boss says it's okay for you to come and play for us. And then we'll get the job done. But if we wait and do the United, we're analysing other targets. By the time we're finished analysing, there'll be nobody bloody left.
Yeah, they should have already had that all done. And
Yeah,
if they're waiting this
that I
long.
don't want to hear.
So this is your four that you just picked here: Mainu, Buwadi, Ederson, Sangari. Again, a lot of ball possession and duels won there. Decent
We
amount
want,
of
isn't it?
ball progression as well. Not a whole lot of chance creation leading key passes, but that's you're just not going to get that from these players. You might get some progressive passes, but they're not going to be those Paul Scholes, David Beckham kind of pinpoint passes.
No.
It's not necessarily a horrible thing. It just depends on the way you're playing. So again, when I look at the midfield depth, the four midfielders that you're
Mm.
really going to need, I try to see if we can get as far as we can to the outside of the circle on each of these metrics. Combined all of them. You want to be able to
Yeah,
that to me says well rounded. So it's pretty well
of
rounded
course.
there. So I've got my picks as well.
I also think
Um,
one thing, Sean, before you move on to yours, I think
yeah,
they facilitate helping Bruno a lot. Because the
yeah,
work rate you're going to get from those players helps Kobe. Because we all know Kobe's as good a footballer he is. He doesn't 90 minutes, 100 mile an hour. He just doesn't. He can't do it. Right. So you need energy around him, which is always what Cass needed.
yeah,
Bruno, if he doesn't have to worry 90% of running backwards, guess what? He can do 90% more going forward.
yeah. And I
You
think
know,
Bruno, yeah,
and
playing Bruno up there as like
facilitators.
that second striker kind of push, is going
Yeah.
to be great for him. As
Well,
someone
they
kind
always
of,
call it. They call it facilitators. What did
yeah, just
I
let him
called
float
Sangare,
the
like
final third.
Makaleli. Yeah,
Yeah,
you've got to be able. You got to have. If you've got players that facilitate your better players being better.
yeah. Mine's very similar.
Mm.
With one difference here, um, and mine looks nicer because I had time to put mine together. You just decided yours, so I didn't know yours going into this. But so I just like and I posted on X and I put it in the WhatsApp group, so it's not really a surprise. But yeah, I've decided that if you're gonna if the midfielders in the Premier League are gonna be overpriced in general, there's one midfielder in the Premier League that I don't think has an equal in terms of what he offers. And I do think that, like you said, that's
Mm.
Adam Wharton.
Yep.
Because if you look here, Adam Wharton is in that pink color. When it comes to those pinpoint passes, those one-touch passes from deep,
There's no
that
one like it.
there's no one else in the Premier League that does that.
Nope.
And that's the kind of profile. And I said this the other day. You can miss out on Mateus Fernandez, and I think Mamadou Sangare is going to do basically the same thing for
Exactly.
less price. There's
Yeah.
nobody out there that's doing what Adam Morton is doing when he's on the ball. And you can see he's also no slouch when it comes to his off the ball work. And I've said this many times. A lot of people think that Adam Morton is not good defensively. He's actually quite good defensively. He's just not the kind of guy who's going to buzz around and go sliding in all the time.
He's
He's
more
kind of like,
Michael Carrick defensively,
yeah, or even like Casemiro sometimes when he wasn't going to ground and he would just kind of stand on the back foot and just kind of toe
positionally
poke or
take it.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
Yeah, yeah.
anticipate. But like I said, trying to get as many of these outside quadrants filled, and I think that so far we've got a pretty good balance here. Literally between the four of them,
Yep.
everything is pretty much covered top notch. I mean, Sangare is to me Sangare is the Casemiro replacement, and I think
Yes.
Adam Wharton is that player when maybe we're sitting a little deeper, we're playing teams who play a high line or something, and we can play on the break. Adam Wharton is that one who's gonna, if we win that ball, he's going
Mm.
to find those runners and he's going to make a pinpoint ball either to Bruno in the pocket or someone on the counter attack. Adam Wharton is going to feed that ball forward. And
Absolutely.
he's going, and like the key passes are elite, which is a pass that leads to a shot, and that is something that
Yeah.
is absolutely bonkers
He's,
for him.
Palace would have won nothing without him. And he's that key, and you can tell. I know when a player's that good is when he can single-handedly displays that they put on can carry the entire team on their back.
Yeah,
And what I like about that for Sean is similar to mine, but yours is definitely with Walton. I couldn't agree more. If it was Walton or Buwadi, I would take Walton, but I would have Buwadi over any other of the choices, apart from Sangare. But what I like about yours is you could do Kobe and Walton, but like you said, if you went Sangare and Walton behind Bruno, you've got every one of that three can do it. Kobe doesn't have to play. That's what we like.
yeah,
So it's
and
Kobe
that's the
or
point.
Walton, Sangare or Edison. So when we don't want to play our first two, the second two are just as good, and
And
that's
this
what we want.
and this is my point too, is that like to me this is very well rounded. And to your point, I would trust any two of these midfielders to partner
Yeah.
with anybody else. You can make a
Right.
partnership of any combination of these, and I think that they would complement each other
Yep.
very, very, very well.
I think the difference between yours and mine is that I think Walton actually suits the way we want to quickly 1-2s with Bruno and into the wide players quickly, or Sesko in the channel. Walton suits that better than anyone we've picked because his ability to pick the pass through the lines is probably better than Bruno's, better than anyone's in the league,
Yeah.
as you've already pointed out. I mean, I don't like to say it, but I've not seen anybody through the lines type of passing since, as much as I hate them, De Bruyne 4 or 5 years ago at City was just
Yeah.
unreal. And I'm not saying Walton's Kevin De Bruyne, right? But that passing is unequaled. So surely, if that's what we want to play, Sean, me and you were laughing about this before the game. England should have this at the back. This Wellham Walton should be playing instead of Elliot
Yeah.
Anderson. Fact.
Well, I think Wharton can play beside Anderson or he can play beside Rice. I don't think you need Rice and Anderson starting in the pivot
No.
together. I think it's a bit of a redundancy. They both pretty much do the same things. I think that what you need is someone maybe, especially when you've got some pace on the wing. Like Rashford needs someone like Wharton to find him on the counter attack.
Yeah. They were constantly making runs, and the ball would just rotate sideways,
Yeah.
run back, run forward, run back, run
They
forward.
have players who can
Rubbish.
carry the ball, but that's it. Doesn't none of that is going to matter so much when teams get back and when you're building up so slowly. The teams are just going to get back in numbers. Danny, where are
I
you
like
seeing
both
this
teams,
nonsense,
but I
Danny?
prefer both of
Don't break
yours.
my
What's he
heart.
saying?
Hold on.
What? No, Danny, don't. Oh, I'm a
Hold on.
Palace fan now. Then I'm done. I'm finished. Cashing
Let's
out.
see here. I think that's just. I think that those are links just because the new manager coached him before. So I haven't seen anybody say. I would have noticed that if I'd seen that coming from a legitimate link, but
It could be the Nottingham Forest Sangare.
yeah, we'll see.
There
We
you
will
go.
see.
That's what we were thinking. I did see
We'll
another
see.
channel who won't go named, where with a certain person on there whose football knowledge clearly is nowhere but from FIFA. He was talking about Sangare as being a bit of a joke option, and why would we sign a player from Nottingham Forest? And I was just laughing so much to myself. I sent Rob a message. Rob knows who I'm talking about, right? And he just carried on and on and on and on, like relentless about it. And I was just like, you couldn't be more wrong. I know you're an
He
idiot.
just
You don't know what
completely
you're
thought it was
talking
a
about.
different Sangare, huh?
Yeah, he just thought the Forest Sangare was the only Sangare that existed. So
Yeah.
yeah,
It's and like I said the other day, I don't think that every channel needs to have this in-depth knowledge, and I don't even think I have in-depth knowledge. Like, let me preface this by saying that
you're talking about
scouting,
someone.
watching other leagues, like you should, if you run a United channel, like I wouldn't demand that you watch as much other leagues as like I do, for instance. And that's not, again, I'm not trying to say that I'm better than that. I watch way too much football, most likely. But if you're gonna weigh in on these sort of conversations, I would expect you to be at least half knowledgeable on what it is that you're talking about.
Yeah.
Otherwise, that's what happens. You just look like you don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, you're making an argument for Chouameni and you put a picture of Tonali on the screen, and that's how.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Danny, I'll look it up a little bit more. If you can find out who originated that rumor,
Oh,
we can talk
please
about it a little bit
not.
more. I haven't, only thing I've seen, just a quick Google, was that there are links because Pierre Sage, I think is the guy's name, is the new Palace manager. And I think he's the one who managed Sangare before. So I think that's one of those lazy, like remember when Amram showed up when we were linked to every sporting player?
Of course.
I think that's
The
just
other
kind of what
thing,
you're going to see normally.
if something like that happens, and touch wood it doesn't, but it will just be what we've all said. And I've been saying this for years. We only sign players from outside of the league after someone in the league has bought them. So we're always second in the line with
Yeah.
the double the price player, because we just never prepared to take the gamble. It's
Which
pathetic.
I don't get, why you have someone like Vivell. Why you, like, what's the point
What? Yeah.
then? It was like when we got
Don't.
Ralph Ragnick and we completely ignored everything he said.
Yep.
Doesn't make sense. Ooh, ice cream truck. Sorry,
Yeah,
ADHD.
I could hear it. Yeah, that's right. But it's the thing.
Sorry,
It's the
man.
thing with that.
I'm an
Why
adult.
would we? Why are we ignoring what we're claiming we're doing? The data-driven approach by people who have done research. That is Favel and this Mercedes guy. They must be pointing out the clear and obvious fact we can see for our own peepers on the screen. It's not difficult. It's what I try to have a go at people. I
Vivell
know.
knows Sangari. Like, if you guys watch my video, it's literally 20 minutes. It doesn't take any time to watch. Vivell has been following Sangari since he was at this academy in Mali. Like, he's been following him for about 6, 7 years now. I don't
Yeah.
understand why do we, is it just so we can say we have best in class? Or are we just not listening? If I were Vivell and I had
I'd
Sangari on
walk.
my, I would walk away. I would
Yeah, I would
absolutely
walk.
walk away.
Well, I said that the other day when I was angry. If it carries on like this, like we thought it was going to, where we're just losing out left, right, and centre, and we end up with no one, or we end up getting João Gomez and people like that, sort of third rate like that, I've had enough of them. They're losers. It's just got
I was all for João Gomez as one of our
instead
midfielders.
of Edison,
I think
not
he
as
was
well
that
as.
Ederson kind of role, but now that with all this bullshit with Mateus Fernandez, I'm completely done with George Mendes. George
Yeah,
Mendes can
no,
get
he can
fucked.
eat it. He can eat one. I don't care.
I
I don't
don't
care if
care
he's going to give
anymore.
us Nuno Mendes. He was going to give us Nuno Mendes and Hakimi. He can still
Yep,
eat one. Or
not
maybe
happening,
not.
man.
But
I'm totally
right,
done with
yeah,
him
it's
now.
not happening. No, I'm done. But yeah, it's got to happen, and it's got to happen soon. And I'm not prepared to wait. I'd rather have that midfield there than wait till August and have
Yeah.
Chouameni standing there instead of Walton. Because
So
that's
what
what
is
it will
this?
be.
What
It won't be
would
instead
that
of
be?
Sangare, would it? It'd be instead of Walton. It'd be the big signing.
What would that be? Like 120, 130 million for Wharton and Sangari?
Oh yeah. Well, you talk. I reckon Palace are slightly realistic, slightly,
Like
but
75 million, maybe.
75 to 80. I think
Yeah.
Palace are more likely to accept the structure or want a player from us. Right. That's quite
They
likely
can
with
have. We can
Palace.
throw him Collier. We can throw him a player on loan. We can do him a lot of
We've
things.
got
We
quite
have
a
a
few of
lot.
those bits and bobs,
Can
but
send Sekou Kone or one of the
40
Fletchers
for
over there on
Sangare. I
loan.
reckon 40, maybe 45 with add-ons for Sangare.
Yeah.
And again, another player on loan, maybe. Delens wants somebody. He's in the Champions League. Obi, I'd happily send him Obi to play in the Champions League.
I would say
Why
take a
not?
look at our youngsters, and if you want somebody on loan, go for it. Take it. Let me. You could throw
Yeah.
them Dan Gore. You could throw them Collier. You can throw them anybody, man. 'Cause
I don't want to, but it's like people like JJ or do you want Noah on loan for a year or something like that?
yeah,
We'll see. But there's options. But yeah, the money's easily affordable. But do you know what? I heard one thing today, and it could come back to shoot Ineos in the foot a little bit. What Barada was saying about we can do special things again for the right targets and we'll pay the right money for the right players. But we only want players, that's like they're saying again today, We only want players that can commit 100% to us. If we wait till the end of the window and Tchouaméni comes out and asks for a transfer request at Madrid after winning the World Cup and goes, all I want is Man United, that puts Ineos in the hardest position ever. Because if we've spent money already, they've got to go and do that now because that's what they said they want. And
I
that's
just
what they
think
said they would do.
it's a
So,
bit wishful thinking, I think, to just
yeah.
expect a player to forego what's in their own best interest. You're asking them to put love for Manchester United above wages, above all of that. Like it just, in which I
Well,
like. Part of me being an Ed fan is like, yeah, I get, but at the same time, it's just unrealistic, and it's just you're limiting so much when if that's what you're trying to filter
oh,
everything
I've
through.
just had something pop up on my screen that might as well just cross Tchouaméni off. Ornstein's just think United City pushing for Camavinga. Close. There you go. That's
We'll
it.
see.
That's
If
done.
I think if they get
So
Enzo Fernandez, it could say a lot because they've got Valverde, um, they've still got who else? Bernardo Silva, what's his face? Freaking Bellingham is in there as well. I know
Bellingham,
that
yeah, they've got
they've got a lot of
Arda Güler,
midfielders.
they've got
Artigula,
Massentano.
yeah, we'll see.
They've got a few.
We
They've
will
got a
see what
few.
happens. Never. I
But
mean, it's Mourinho, so Nemanja Matic will probably rock up to the Bernabeu as well.
that's definitely happening. If not a coach, if not, he's number 2 on the bench, definitely.
Rob says that Etta Young's release clause has been reduced to 20 million euros from July 1st after an amendment was agreed with the Avante. That was that striker that we were linked with back in the winter, I believe. Big, tall striker, right? Isn't he like a poacher, kind of a bigger kind of profile as
I think
well?
so, yeah.
Quick. I think he's pretty quick as well. What does Mark jump in here? Big up Mark. He says, can I point out there isn't a rush to get the player in as he is still not step on the training pitch till 2 weeks after they are knocked out and preseason starts on the 9th.
True, Mark.
It's true they're not going to be here physically, but at the same time, if we're looking at how these other clubs are moving, I mean, Chelsea will be in for midfielder, Forest will be in for midfielder, Spurs just seem like they don't give a fuck right now. Never
Yeah.
count out City just spending money with a big bubble middle finger to the league, by the way.
Arsenal still might add someone. Liverpool definitely, yeah.
Alex Scott, Liverpool are always in need of a six, apparently, even though they keep buying midfielders and they never get it right. They should definitely look at center back a little bit more as well. Liverpool, maybe get a striker. I don't know. It's you. I get what you're saying. Like they're not going to be here. So, but at the same time, look at the way everyone else is buying players right
Yeah.
now.
Well,
If
I
they're
think also you could take
really
from
going to
Mark's
it.
point there, Sean, about they're not going to be here. The options are not going to be there.
Yeah, it's
Because also, if you keep taking away from the market, the lesser available players, even if they're still good, their price is going to go up.
yeah.
Supply
The
versus
prices are.
demand.
We
You
said
know what I
that
mean?
early on in the transfer window that whoever was going to win the race first to sign the first Premier League midfielder was going to benchmark
Just shifted
the
the
rest
needle now.
of the summer,
Yeah.
like what we did with Cunha last summer.
Even if
And
teams,
yes,
go on, sorry, mate, you carry on.
I was saying yes. Part of it is that's going to be almost the going rate right now for midfielders, especially Premier League midfielders.
Yep.
But I think that you just got to move fast. Like if Mateus Fernandez was our top choice, I get the walking away thing. I would have done the same, but like
Yeah.
the question remains, and we might not ever know, is did we do enough? I mean,
Well,
it's
for
hard.
what if you believe? So maybe Sully's the most sort of semi-reliable that I've read. That seems to be the general thinking is we went in with 70 plus 15 and around about 150 to 60 grand a week.
Yeah,
Spurs are paying 85 or 70 million up front, and we just weren't doing all that. They were paying that in one go. No payments, no instalments, all up front, which is going to kill them later on down the line. So we'll laugh then. But there was no way United were going to do that. And 250 grand a week, even I, who wanted him a lot, would not pay that. I'd be livid if we gave him that, to be honest. I'd be livid.
and
Yeah.
Rob, so they are going to sell Bergvall most likely. He'll
Yep.
go. Basuma left for free.
He
They've
did,
still
yeah.
got Bentancur. They just signed Gallagher. I don't know if Sarr will still be there for a hot second as well. Who
Yeah,
else
they've
do
still
they
got
have in
Archie
that
Gray.
squad? Archie Gray, who I really like.
Yeah.
There are
What
probably
else have they got?
and we found out why they paid so much for Van Hecke. By the way, is because they're also selling Vuskovic
for 50.
to Brighton for around 50 as well. So
Yeah.
basically circumventing the financial regulations.
Yeah.
Basically, with the same thing that Elliot Anderson and Vlachodimos did a couple years back between Forest and Newcastle. Vlachodimos was
Mm.
not worth as much as he would, but they did it on paper
Yeah.
because that made both clubs basically went out.
Well,
So
did you
we know
remember the
why.
Newcastle, Everton, Chelsea teenager?
Yeah,
They
yeah.
exchanged teenagers for 20 million who never kicked a ball in the league.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
So this is how teams are working together to kind of scratch your back, you scratch mine kind of situation with financial regulations by
Mm.
overpaying for Van Hecke, and then also you could say that Brighton overpaid for Vuskovic, a guy who's never kicked a ball in the league. First signed him when he was a teenager. They sent him on loan, and all of a sudden he's worth what 45 million. It's just not.
Yeah.
It's not great. But so guys, keep getting involved in the poll. I have a question for you, Ian, and for the chat.
Go on.
Now, I got to preface this by saying, you guys know me. You know that I don't catastrophize. I don't fearmonger. I don't do any of that stuff. So I'm just putting a question out there right now. I want to see where you guys are at here. How do you see a potentially underwhelming summer impacting our ability to sign players, or do you see it also impacting the current squad? Now, for instance, I'm going to put an example out there.
Mm.
You remember Rooney wasn't super convinced with how we were replacing Ronaldo and whatnot, and wanted and questioned the legitimacy and
Yeah.
the ambition of the club. Bruno stuck around despite big money offers, wanting to be a part of this project, despite the club basically telling him that they would sell him if they got some big money. They were open to it if he wanted to leave.
They were.
If he comes back from the World Cup and sees we've only signed Ederson, I wonder what that could do for his, a desire to stick around and be convinced of not of Carrick necessarily, but of Ineos, of the club
Yeah.
necessarily.
Well, they
What
were
are you guys'
talking at the end of
thoughts?
last. They were talking at the end of last season about like even extending his contract, which I'd be happy for
Yeah.
him to do.
Well, I think
After I
that's a
saw
way
him
to
on
kind
the
of lock him in, so we're not screwed on that release clause anymore.
absolutely, I saw him on the Diary of Your CEO, and if anyone hasn't seen him on that, they should watch it because it's
Yeah,
the
it's a
best
good one.
interview I think I've ever seen with a Man United player. It's if you're not at the end like this, you're not a human being because he can make. I swear he could make a statue cry. Bruno could. He can make a statue cry. But regardless of the player, I would be livid if I was Bruno. I'd be on the phone, not to my agent. I'd be on the phone with Michael Carrick and Ed Woodward, not Ed Woodward. Sorry, Pavel and Wilcox going, what the fuck? Yeah, what the fuck's happening? This better be just paper talk. The plan we talked about before I left better still be happening, because you better believe Bruno is not necessarily in on a vote, but as a captain, I guarantee you he knows what's in the framework of what they're looking for.
And what does that do
So,
for potential signings when we're just not doing anything? I mean, what kind of project does that kind of sell to that
well,
we're like what can we, how do you go try to convince a big player to come when we're like not doing shit? Like I just don't.
yeah, this is what I don't understand. I don't understand what we're doing behind the scenes, because it's all about, we apparently have spoke to agents who spoke to this, who spoke to his mum's sister's hairdresser's friend, so we can get a word to him. Stop acting like we don't just phone up the agent and he calls the player after 5 seconds later. That's what happens. And if all that's happening, then all this trying to lure a player must happen later, because the managers aren't allowed to talk to other players until you spoke to a club. We all know that because Van Dijk wasn't allowed to play for Liverpool because Jurgen was touching him up.
Yeah, yeah.
So, that we obviously can't do. But I agree with you. What does it say about us if we are the club? Yeah, you might want to play for United, but you're gonna have to wait because we're gonna penny pinch your team until they bend over and give us what we want. That also doesn't. If I was a player, not a United fan, that wouldn't say to me that you want me as much as Spurs. I've got to be honest. Now, take our United hats off. Be honest about it. Because as Sean said, these players aren't fans, whether we want to convince ourselves or not.
Yeah,
They're doing it for their good, their short careers, and their families.
yeah.
And if I was a player and I weren't a Man United fan and I weren't even English, then whoever's offering me the best deal and making me feel like I'm the king of the world,
Yeah, I
I'm
think it's
going.
completely naive to expect a player
Yeah.
to to take 100K a week pay cut just to play for
Yeah,
United. Like,
I saw.
cool. It would be great if that were the case, but can anyone
Yeah,
here honestly say that they would turn down one job for another, just because they
no,
like the company more than like if someone's paying you twice as much? Like, let's be realistic and
yeah,
honest with ourselves.
no, it's not the way. Also, I saw someone make a comment, and it was even back when we were the best team in the world in '99. Players we were signing weren't coming out and begging to play for Man United, but they still turned out to be some of our best players.
Yeah, we missed out on
So,
players too, and it's just the way it
yeah,
works. No Ronaldinho, that didn't happen.
you know,
Lewandowski didn't happen.
everyone remembers Berbatov. But most people remember the shots outside Old Trafford of a shadow walking past the window. What a lot of people probably don't remember is Fergie drove to the airport and picked him up to hijack the move.
Yeah.
So, those kind of things don't work anymore. So it's all about whether the player is shown by the club that I want you. Now,
We got to
I'm a
play the
firm
game a little
believer of
bit because
that.
I think that it's a bit naive to just and like head in the clouds to just not to it's just we can't completely disregard the role that agents play in all this. And I think and it
No,
sucks that agents do have a say, and I'm not saying you just give in to the power, but you have to learn to play the game a little bit. Like, who's in
absolutely.
charge of this? Like, I don't get
Yeah.
it.
No, I want to know who we're listening to. I think these next 2 weeks, I think it's just under that now before pre-season actually back at Carrington. If we have not signed at least 2 players, it is a bit of a failure, and I think they're going into emergency panic mode, and then that will then result in us paying more than we would if we bought the same player now,
Yeah.
because in 2 weeks' time they're going to be more money. That's just
And
reality. Face it.
anything less than 4 players is a complete
Mm.
shambles of a window. Really,
Yeah.
anything less than 5 players is
I
not a good
mean,
window in my opinion either.
no. If we want Sangare,
And I don't
right,
count a
who at the
backup
moment,
keeper as a signing, by the way. Sorry.
no. So, but if we want Sangare, even though at the moment we, give or take a couple of reports, one that Danny found, we might have competition. If we get a hint of competition, that price is going to go from being 40 to 45 to 50 to 60, like that. So let's do this before everybody else, especially the idiot clubs like Chelsea and other teams, Newcastle get more money. Stop that rot happening. Because I swear, if we sign this transfer window and Newcastle have got Kamara and Torre and Forest end up with Sangare and we end up with Baliba and Alex Scott, I'll lose my shit. I
Yeah,
promise you, I'm done with that rubbish.
and that's good. And if that happens, we probably won't get those guys until like August.
Yeah,
It's just
70 million plus for Baliba, 80 million for Scott.
yeah,
I'm telling
that's
you
it.
now, I will be sick on camera.
I mean, like I said the other day, I completely understand not wanting to overpay. I get it. I get the principle of it, right? I totally understand. It is
Mm-hmm.
what it is. I don't think the transfer fees are as big a deal as the press and some fans like to think. It's not FC 26 where all that money's out right away. I wish FC 26 would let you amortize, but it is what it is. I understand the need
Football
to get the
manager does.
wage structure under control. Like that is, I
Yeah,
think, is a bigger deal personally. We can't
yeah,
be on the hook for 18 million a year for
no,
Casemiro or Rashford, for instance. That just can't happen anymore.
no.
I can almost even understand again getting behind this whole idea of wanting players to commit to United. It makes the transfer process a little easier, the negotiations. I get the want. I think it's naive to assume that all of these elements are just going to perfectly align with every single target
Mm,
and that we can simply just walk away if it doesn't. Like that's just
yeah.
not how you go about your business.
So
That's
even
like
Real
Arsene
Madrid don't do
Wenger.
it like that.
That's Arsene Wenger from 25 years ago. Like, there's no
Yeah,
value. We're just not doing it. Like, we have to be
no.
ambitious. We can't afford to be left behind. I get we can't put ourselves in a financial hole wage wise, but go and just be ambitious. Like, I just don't get
Yeah.
why it's. Again, I'm
I'm
not trying to write everything off. I'm not trying to rage.
No,
I'm
I
not
agree.
complaining so much about what has happened. I'm saying moving forward, this is what we need to be doing.
Absolutely. I completely agree with all of the statement you just made. The other thing I want to add to it is more if you look at the whole picture of can we fix the transfer, the wage structure and our and our money all in one window as well? No, we can't.
No.
But what we also can't afford to do, which is a bit of an uncalculable variable in this, is we have taken a big leap this season, probably two seasons worth in one. Because no one expected us to go from where we were to where we are now.
Yeah.
But also what we've done is leave teams further behind us. We cannot afford to not spend more than we need to, because we can't afford for this to catch us up. We need to take this towards City and Arsenal, not stay where we are and let the other teams catch us up because we want to pinch a few million. That won't help further down the line.
No,
it becomes less effective.
Ineos can't be more focused on the finances than about strengthening the club. You can't. There's a balance to be had, but the priority needs to be strengthening the squad. The priority needs to be keeping us competitive. You can try to get creative. You can do whatever you want to do but you can't focus on the money first. You just can't. You just can't.
Well, did someone say, win on the green, make the green? There you go, end of story. You win on the green stuff, you make the green stuff. That's it. The bottom line doesn't go up if you don't win on that. That's it. It's not difficult. This is what annoys me. The only thing I would give... Rob said it the other night in our chat, and he's totally right. We can bash Spurs all we like, but you have to give a little bit of a modicum of respect for what they have done and how quickly they've shown they can do it. In a little over 48 hours, they've completed 180 plus million pounds worth of deals. You want something,
it's a big dice roll for them. It's a big gamble on De Zerbi.
Totally. But if you want something, it just goes to prove, go out there and just shut up and pay for it. You don't go into buy a Lamborghini and argue the price, do you? No, because if you're buying one, you can afford it. So I'm sorry, it's a very pet peeve for me. If you go on and on about you want something, but you want it at my price, not yours, but you don't own it, you want to buy it. So shut up and pay or go away. I'm sick of the people whining. Oh, I want it. No, I don't like it.
To me, it definitely is about the player himself. When there is multiple players of similar profile and similar quality, and one is 85 million, one is like 50 million, and stuff. I'm like, just go get the 50 million. Like, go get Sangare, not Mateus Fernandez. Wharton is the exception in my opinion, because there are not many players like Wharton right now that do it. Like Vitinha maybe is similar or something like that, but
I'd have Wharton over the three players that we were linked with that we're not getting. I'd have him over Anderson, I'd have him over Tonali, and I'd have him over Fernandez. So
yeah, it all depends on the player for me, and I think that if you're looking for if you are looking for someone who can pick a ball from deep, Wharton is the best there is. Go and spend the money. If you're looking for someone as a Casemiro replacement, that profile, go and get Sangare. He's cheaper than these other players. No one's really looking at him too heavily. You can go get that deal done for 30 million cheaper than some of these other Premier League midfielders. That's kind of what I'm getting at. Like Danny says, like I've said a couple times, it depends on the player themselves and the profile, even if you want to get a little bit more broader.
I just wish United would jump first instead of second. We're quite happy to overspend to be second and let someone else do the hard work. Just for once, take a risk.
And that's
you won't risk the money, then risk the player.
That's why we missed out on Anderson, because City had been working on Anderson for like half a year, more than that. It wasn't just the money, although the money was a big factor. It was that they were already well into the process. They had the whole commitment thing. You're afraid to get out of it as a player's agent. You've already gone so far in there, like it's not gonna happen. They were already starting that when Pep was still there. I'd be wondering if Anderson even knew Pep was going to be gone.
I bet he didn't. The other thing as well, you know, when they're saying they want United want this hyper dream state where the player comes out and just makes a press conference and says it's United and only United, deal with it, right? How about we show we want you first? We put some money down on the table, and your club can think about it all you like. Once you see that money on the table, then you come out and go, because we could leave the player high and dry. We've done it before. Come out and say you want us, we don't want you. That player's going to be in a whole world with his team. So why would you do it?
Yeah, and the people, like, it never happens. Like, behind closed doors, if you want to make it known to your club or your agent, like, I want to go to United. Like, that's what we did with Shesko. Shesko's agent took less money to make sure that
there you go. It's a perfect example.
That can happen. It rarely does. Like, I don't know how often that's going to happen. I think people saw that happened and they're using it as the rule, not the exception. It's very rare that it happens. But if that's our main tactic when it comes to getting our foot in the door with these players. I'm sorry, that's a shit tactic.
Yeah, and
It's a shit
unfortunately, we've
tactic.
got Brian in Bromu to blame for that because he started it.
It's a shit tactic. Like it's
Yeah,
just
it's rubbish.
it's
Dreamworld.
literally it's dream world. It just doesn't make any sense, man.
You've got the editor on Football Manager and you've turned it on. There you go. That's
Like
what you're doing. Yeah, it's
there's
rubbish.
a gray there's a medium between that approach and what we've done for 12 13 years prior to
Yeah.
Ineos. Like there's a lot of gray and there's a whole spectrum. It doesn't have to be just one or the other. Like you can go ambitious and big for your main targets when they are one-offs. Like if we like Danny says, 140 million, Sangare, Wharton, your midfield is done and you can go
Oh,
grab a
yeah,
left back
easy.
and maybe go pay that 20 million release clause for
I
Evan
reckon
Neon.
140 million. We could go to we could get Walton, Sangare, and Urenki, Agume. I
Yeah.
even stretch that to Kamara, but he's going to be closer to 40. But we could get
Smith,
Urenki.
Muzakaitis, like there's players
I think
all over
Smith
the
costs
place.
us a bit more than 20, doesn't he?
Oh, he'll
Do you
cost
think
about 40.
Urenki costs more than 20? Do you think
Now,
he'll?
now he will
Yeah.
probably be 30,
Mm.
35.
But there you go. So Urenki, 30. Let's say 45 for Mamadou, and let's say 80 for Thingy. So what you're talking there, 148, 150?
And
Yeah,
then
I mean,
add the 35 for Ederson. I mean, that's three
under the
midfielders. Because remember,
boom.
we paid about 180, 190 for Cunha and Bumo and Shesko. When we
It's
needed to
around the
go
same.
prioritize the attack, we did it. We spent big. We were ambitious. We need to do the same for midfield. Like,
Yeah, and we'd get 4 players for that
and we
money.
need to understand the market is changed now. It just is. Like it's just we
Yeah,
can't dictate the price anymore as much as we
no,
think we can or as much as we want to. It would be great, but we can't.
no. Well, we've tried it. It didn't work. So now, surely, let's not do it on the next transfer. Let's just go in, both guns out, and let's have it. Just done.
Sangare, Wharton, you want Buati and Sangare, like all these are doable.
Yeah.
Just go
Oh,
get it done.
Boadi or Walton. Yeah, I don't want everyone in the chat hating me because I know some.
Uh,
I am a Walton fan, but Walton's the only player in the Premier League that would satisfy me. That's
so
what I'm going to say. I wouldn't be satisfied with Alex Scott. I wouldn't be satisfied with Baleba, and I wouldn't be satisfied with Sander Berge,
yeah,
Irari. I
no,
said Noah Siddiqui, but I would happy with. I like Noah Siddiqui, but as the
it's another
instead of
backup option.
Sangare, if we couldn't get that, I'd have Noah Siddiqui. But
I need
you
a
know,
player who's going to come in and start every
yeah,
single match. Siddiqui right now is not that for me. Even Ederson
no,
is not that for me. Ederson seems a bit like a Fred kind of utility player. As you saw
yeah,
the numbers, he does a little bit of everything. He does it really really
mm,
well, but and he's experienced. But I need someone like a Wharton to come in and just handle this. Sangari to come in when we need a little bit more bite in midfield.
yeah,
Against when we want to win the midfield battle. Wharton when we're coming up against the high line and we need to get that ball forward. Like Ederson when you need a disruptor in that midfield to get about the midfield and win the ball and
what
carry
were
it.
we talking
No.
about? Options for Carrick, isn't it? It's options.
Yes,
You
and
haven't
that's my
got,
point.
and also quality options, because we
Like
all hate the fact that all of our other options last year downgraded us by 50% in quality. So, we got maybe a
these
10% drop in quality now.
we cover well above average in percentiles with each of these four players on the pitch, and I would
Yeah,
trust any two of these combination together in any
yeah.
match personally.
We need to spam send that to. Let's find Pavel's like Twitter and
I'll,
just
I'll, I'll
spam him.
find no, I think I'm connected to him on LinkedIn. I'll go ahead and send it to him on
Yeah,
LinkedIn.
just spam that to him and just say, look, listen here. Yeah, we know what you're saying. But I
Like,
did, I did see one thing. I think it was Laurie Whitwell on Talk of the Devils pod. I think it was Talk of the Devils. And he was talking about how the list is changing and things like that. And there was a little bit of a joke about it, but it was a sort of aimed towards certain people on the board had 1, 2, or 3 picks. And then after that, certain other people had 1, 2, or 3 picks. And he kind of was alluding to the fact that maybe the Wilcox to Jim picks are no longer available. Now maybe we move on to the Favel, Carrick,
I don't.
whoever else sort of
I
picks.
find it hard to believe that Sir Jim could even pick out one of these players in a lineup. Honestly,
Oh, no, he's just looking at a spreadsheet that he's been
yeah,
given.
he's just writing.
Yeah,
He's just looking at the checkbook that he's got to write,
yeah,
and things like that. Like I would be, if anything, I'm trusting Vavel over anybody else in that room if I'm in
But
charge.
basically, it's Wilcox and Favell sitting there with the last final say.
If
I think Wilcox has had his go. I think it's now to Pavell's turn because
if
he's
there are
failed on
youth
his other three.
if there are young players like the Aiden Heavens and some of these other academy players from other clubs that like that's all Wilcox. Wilcox can go handle that. If there's players from outside of Europe, because you don't need to be any sort of expert to know that Elliot Anderson is good. That's minimal analysis required there. But to go and look at someone like a Urenchi, go to look at someone like a Keith Smith, go look at someone like a Mamadou Sangare, Lucy Nagumi, that's where your Christopher Vavell are going to earn their paycheck. That's why you hire someone like Christopher Vavell to come in
Yeah,
and do that.
we were all hoping that Favell plus the statistics guy could only surely point
Yeah.
us in the direction of the players that we all know, viewed to the graph that Sean's had on the screen, are statistically better than anyone else. So
Yeah.
if that's our data-driven model, all the boxes are ticked. There's no excuse for Ineos anymore. So
And
yeah,
there are ways to figure out like clubs have access to this tool called Gemini, which the general public does not have access to, by the way. But Gemini offers what's called, and I read this and I put this in the chat last night too, that so Sky used it to figure out alternatives to Elliot Anderson. So Gemini has what's called a player similarity index, where put in a player and based on numbers, analyses, positioning, performance, different whatever, they will find you on a scale of 1 to 100 a player that is players that are similar to that player. So they did this for Elliot Anderson, and the two players that were most similar to Elliot Anderson as alternatives in the Premier League were Enzo Lefebvre and Yassine Ayari. And they
yeah,
were in with a 74 rating and a 73 rating, respectively. And that's why I put in the chat the other night, like we were linked to Ayari last week. I really like what I've seen from him in this World Cup. He's got a year left on his contract. As a rotation option, I wouldn't say no, but it would be a bit underwhelming. But that's the kind of data like a club should be just using. Like I just don't get it, man.
absolutely. Yeah, no, 100%. Again, it's a like we can't sign these so-called smaller names, Sean.
Yeah,
It's like it's almost like the ghost of Ed Woodward is still haunting
we
the
can't sign
office.
him as the main. I don't mind signing young players that we can then turn into big names because there was a time when
See,
nobody knew where Elliot Anderson was.
exactly, but
Like there's a
that's
part of
why
that.
I think a lot of the people are leaning towards the Bawadi side and the Lille deal because people are suggesting it could be very similar. Because Ineos have got form with this, with obviously the exact same deal with Lenny Yoro.
Yeah,
We know other teams are interested, but we've got a chance to trump everyone else. I could see United now going in there and going, well, Lille want 80, but they'll be respectable. They took a lot of money off us for Lenny Yoro, but they took a very good payment structure.
yeah,
So
yeah,
I'm sure they're happy to take that.
yeah,
It's just United have got to take advantage of these chances, and he ticks all the boxes because even though 70 million, say, or we go as high as the 80 to have him right now, yeah, that's still an investment that they look at like Lenny Yoro that has got future potential to earn them money.
yeah. And see,
Easy work.
those are like when you start dancing in the Chelsea territory. You go get Ayari, for instance. I'm just using it as an example.
Yeah,
When he's got a year left in his contract, or you go get the Eddie the a Young thing, a 20 million, or Gilberto Moro, someone was talking about in the chat, the Mexican player that I've scouted in the past. Release
superb deal.
clause, 20 million release clauses for almost each of those. Basically, you get three players in, 60 million a year from now. Pull at Chelsea, sell them for twice as much.
Yeah.
Like you're allowed to do that. Like we're allowed to do stuff like that. I just don't get why we don't think outside the box a little bit more. But we're
Well,
gonna move on, and we can go on all. And go ahead,
oh,
Ian. What were you saying?
no, I was just going to say, like, with your rougher monetization, you're saying 360 million, three players for 60 million. Casemiro's wages just off the book would allow us to amortize that on its own. On
Yeah,
its own. So Urenki, Agume, and the player you just said, I've forgotten his name now, Ayari. All three of those just for what we paid Casemiro in wages.
yeah,
That's it. No budget, no nothing, no borrow, no nothing. Just what we paid Casemiro in wages.
yep.
So,
And
but United are
if
too scared to do that because we'll be criticised to all hell.
no, we that's the thing. You can't listen to the media. You can't
No,
necessarily even
no,
listen
unfortunately,
to
they
this
do.
fan base who are doing like that. I just don't get. Let's see. Mark is really big on Chouameni. Like, and I've said this many times on Chouameni. I love Chouameni. I do not like his injuries, and so it's the same with Alex Scott. I love Alex Scott. I do not like his two major knee injuries. He looks like he's
If
been fine this season, so I'm taking it on that. But
I'd like him to have done a Walton and do 2 after
yeah,
the injury, but yeah, I agree. It's a full season and he has looked good. I don't.
yeah,
When I'm down on Alex Scott, I'm not down on Alex Scott as a player. 50
yeah.
million, I'd be very happy. I think he's a great young player, good potential, but he ain't 80 million. That's a joke.
No, he's not.
That's a
It's an absolute,
joke.
it's an absolute
So
mistake.
I'm sorry, no, absolutely not.
Yeah. I like
So like you
Julian. He's
just
just injured too much for me.
yeah, I would
He's missed a
if
lot of games.
also Mark, I don't want to wait because
Yeah,
imagine if we waited that long and then he changed his mind.
yeah.
He just
Let me
changed
check
his
the poll
mind.
here. So
Yeah.
far, 50% of people would be willing to wait till August for a marquee name as opposed to doing the business earlier. So, what would be the marquee name before we move on to the last little bits here and let you guys go?
The ones we've all set out of the 3, I think 3 names we've named tonight would roughly be classed as marquee. Chuamani, Walton, Buwadi. I think those 3 would roughly class as the marquee, and the Sangares, the Ayaris, Agumes, Urenkis are the third
Where would
signing.
Nemecha fall in there? Do you think Nemecha is marquee? Do you think he'd be
No,
in that
mate,
mix together?
Nemecha would be marquee price, but not. I wouldn't think he was a marquee signing. An ex-City youth player for 80 million. Shove that up your ass.
Probably more than that, but
Yeah,
um,
boys. By the way, we've done that before. Didn't go too well.
yeah, did
I
not.
won't say his name because it makes me feel sick. But yeah, it didn't
Yeah,
go well. From the
scam
same
show.
club as well.
Yeah. Keep getting
Yeah,
your votes in.
no.
Let me wrap it up here because it's not all doom and gloom. Our own Rob Taff
You know how many
did
times
put.
they've scammed us, Dortmund? It's a lot.
Yeah, I'm done
It's
with
a
that.
lot.
I feel bad for Shinji Kagawa just because he was competing with Wayne Rooney, but it is what it
Yeah.
is.
I liked Kagawa. I just think they scammed us on Mkhitaryan. They
Yeah,
scammed us on this
he's
virus.
nuts.
The virus.
Rob Taff puts in the WhatsApp group that United are adding to the ranks. It's not all doom and gloom. We picked up a young Welsh goalkeeper, apparently. This player is
United.
19-year-old Wales under 21 international named Kit Margetson. He is with Swansea at the moment. I'm not going to pretend like I know much about him. The Welsh League or Swansea is not really one I follow a whole lot. But from what I've read, he's a modern keeper, strong with the ball at his feet, comfortable building out from the back, comes off his line pretty quickly, good reactions, agile. Obviously, 19, he's not the finished article physically as well. So, like De Gea, like probably going to need to work on the strength in the box, especially nowadays when you're coming up against Arsenal. Just start
I haven't
throwing
seen his
elbows.
height, Sean. He looks like a tall boy. He looks like
Let
a
me
tall
see.
boy.
How tall is this cat? Let me see what this guy's looking at.
I
You guys.
think Rob said he played in some recent international. I'm sure he did.
He's at Wales under 21 international. You guys, make sure that like button while I look up his height here. Make sure you subscribe if you're
Smash it,
new.
boys.
Where's his height at? I figure out where this kid's height. I'm just gonna type in
Rob
height
might know.
here. He's 6'4".
Yeah, not bad for it. I like keeper to be have some frame.
Yeah, he's 6'4". Not bad. He's 19, so he's not even anywhere near done developing physically yet. Word is that if we get this over the line, he'll go back out on loan. We have renewed Dermot Mee's contract as well, so he'll be here for a little while. So there's that. And then also sticking with goalkeepers, our search for a number 2 keeper might be over soon. Alex Crook seems to think we're going to be bringing back Sam Johnston, who apparently wants to leave Wolves. Don't know what you feel about that. As long as we don't have to pay a lot, I don't really care. It'd be a little frustrating because there are a lot of free agent goalkeepers out there. You and I have spoken about a couple of them. The difference here being he does tick the homegrown box, so that does help us map
He does,
stage
and he's
wide.
not played for the Scousers, which is I've got nothing against Freddie Woodman, but no. I don't know. I'm okay, I suppose, with him coming back. He's an ex-United youth graduate. His record isn't great though. Like I think didn't I see he let in the most amount of goals in the Premier League, and it's a
I mean, it's
bit
Wolves, so
it's
I
a bit
mean,
it's just underwhelming a little bit.
it's a
I
backup.
think
I'm not that concerned about backup keepers. I know
no,
people are, and
no, true.
I saw some people raging like, "What if something happens to Lemons? Like, when is the last
Yeah,
time anything has ever happened to a first team goalkeeper?" I'm not saying it never happens, but I mean, I'm
no,
not
that is true.
super
That is
concerned about
true.
it. If I'm
I
honest,
say as long as we're getting someone, Yeah, like you're right, but
I don't want to see this announced as like, oh, big old signing, whatever. Like, nope, this is a backup keeper. He's there to basically
yeah.
help during the warm up. I don't give it. This
I
doesn't
mean,
count as a
he's
signing.
probably on like an eighth of what Summer would cost as well.
Yeah,
So
he's on nothing. And then the big news of the day that everyone can start celebrating while we're sticking with goalkeepers. Onana, or Andre Onono as I call him, he is back to Trabzonspor for another year. It is official. Now, it is a bummer. Now, they did pay us a fee, and I think they're covering his wages again like they did last year, so we
yeah,
don't have to pay for his 120K week wages anymore. But the bummer is, again, another year with a no buy option on that. No obligation, no option to
mm,
buy. So I just don't get, like, why. We like just put a 10 million pound option to buy or something, like just to get him out of here at this point. Like I just
yeah.
don't get it.
I saw being reported about it was that it was nothing to do with Onana. It was they basically were happy to have a buy option, not guarantee an option, but they would cover only about 30% of the wages
Yeah.
with no fee. We've decided we'd rather not pay the wages, and I think it's about 1.6 million a quarter they're paying. So it's about 5.5 million we get in total, plus his wages.
Mm.
That is better than them saying they might buy him later, and we're having to pay 70% of his wages.
So you're
I'd
saying
rather.
take the short term hit for the long term win
Well,
there?
yeah. One, he's not. He doesn't come back and stink up Carrington. Two,
Yeah.
he's gone. Right. No wages paid, and
You said the
they're
same thing
paying
twice.
us. I know, but I have to make sure it's no,
One, he's
gone,
gone.
gone.
He doesn't come, and two, he doesn't come
He's
back to
gone.
Carrington.
He's gone, and two, he's gone, and three, he's gone. Right. So yeah,
Oh boy.
if you take his wages are probably close to two. We'll agree on about 180, 200 grand. So
He's
you're
on
still looking.
120K a week.
Is
Under
he?
Onana.
Well, you're still looking at around 10 million a year.
Yeah, so he's on the same as Ugarte is right now, whose
Yeah.
wages
So
are covered by FIFA for the next
so
foreseeable
we're
future.
probably saving ourselves about 15 million in what they're paying and what we're not paying. So
Yeah, I'm happy that he's gone. He's probably one of the
yeah,
worst goalkeepers I've ever seen. I've had the misfortune of seeing him live a couple times, and that
yeah.
Galatasaray match at Old Trafford just is something that you can't unsee. That was one of the worst
I
things
have
I've seen in
seen
my
some
life.
horrendous goalkeepers in my time at Old Trafford. I've seen
It's
Mark
so bad.
Bosnich. I have seen terrible, terrible goalkeepers. I'm going to say Mark Bosnich twice. I don't know why, but yeah, it's just yeah, he's bad. He's the worst goalkeeper ever. He
So
might as
I've
well have no
never
hands.
like if you want a perfect example of what happens when the pressure of wearing the badge gets to a player, like just look no further than Andre Onono. Like the guy
He's a
literally
melt.
looked like he just was so afraid of making mistakes that he second
Mm,
guessed and hesitated every chance that he had, and it cost him. I think
mm,
he put on this facade of like he's fine, he's confident, but watching him, like when he conceded the goal in the Champions League, I forget what game it was, it might have been Bayern, like he just laid on the pitch. He just laid there.
yeah.
Our
Well, I
freaking
mean,
what's his face Reguilon had to come and pick him up off the ground. He was laying
yeah,
there face down. It's absolutely so poor.
like yeah, but it was his fault. So you
Yeah,
know. But
it's
yeah,
minor.
he's a kind of bad goalkeeper where if you had 100 shots against him, you'd score more against him than you would against a training dummy stood in the middle of the goal.
Yeah, I'd rather put a training dummy in goal than put
You'd
on
hit
Andre
the
Onana.
dummy more times than he would save the ball.
Exactly.
Statistically, I
Put my
guarantee.
grandmother in there. At least she'll block a shot by getting
Yeah,
flicking nailed in the face by the ball. Shit, man.
yeah,
Onana, man,
yeah.
he's just that like the goal that
He's a
we
joke.
conceded from Gibbs White. You guys remember that one? That's the one that does my freaking head in, where he just. It's not even a good shot. It's not even a hard shot. It's just a little fish shot, and Onana
That
just sits
one,
on
the
his
Bayern
ass.
Munich one, made me feel physically sick.
God, it's just so bad. I was there for Brighton a couple
Yeah.
years back when he just palms it right back into what's this Adingra, I think it was, or maybe Matoma.
One
Just
against City where he just palms it into Haaland. Yeah, you didn't
any
score first
literally
time, have another go.
any game you probably anticipate like Onana just palming it back into the box. Like it's like the first thing you learn as a keeper, like palm it away from the fucking goal,
Yeah,
man.
it's ridiculous. Honestly,
So bad,
I've
dude.
seen kids be better than that. Well, I'd have rather had Mary Earps. She'd have saved
Yeah,
half of them. I'm
seriously.
telling you now, fact.
But that is the news of the night, ladies and germs. I know we kind of went on a little bit of a rant there. It's fun to kind of have these kind of abstract conversations now and then that aren't just based in reports and rumors, and they actually just sit and kind of talk for a little
That's
while.
because this community feels like we're all just sitting around a table having a beer. That's why.
That's what, and I've said this from the get go. This is what the point of the channel was. It's just super chill. It's basically like you said, like we're all just having a beer, hanging out, not a problem. I just,
The thing is,
it's
it's a free space here. People aren't
yeah.
going to get destroyed because they made a comment. Everyone's opinion's valid.
You're not going to get any
And
rage from me. You're not going to get any bullshit sources that we talk about. I'm not saying every source is 100% right about everything, but I don't bother with sources like Build or Fakai Hayes or Team Talk or any of that shit. We talk about real stuff, but I'm also just more interested in hearing what you guys have to say on everything, which is why we talk about it. Really, I've said this hundreds of times. It's your guys' channel. I just put the topics out there to get your guys' opinions on.
what
So,
was it when it comes? Well, my wife knows nothing about football, but she said like she can tell like when something's going good or bad. But I was trying to explain it to her once, and she went, "It just sounds stupid." And I went, "What do you mean?" And she went, "Well, even a broken clock's right twice a day." So these people that are guessing at everything, eventually you're going to hit one, aren't you?
well, that's what they
So,
do. I mean, it's just part of it. We
of
know
course it
that.
is. Throw
So that's
enough
why
shit,
I
something of it
encourage, yeah.
sticks.
So I encourage everyone to make sure you know where the sources are coming from and things. Don't just follow the tweets. Actually go and find the articles and follow the trail and see where it came from. If it's more often than not, it's a Team Talk understands or according to sources it caught offside or some bullshit like Marca build. Like just don't, guys. Samuel Butthurts, don't bother. James Ducker was on one yesterday, apparently drunk on Twitter or something, calling out United fans. Don't get what his issue is. Professional journalist. I told you guys, a lot of money wasted on journalism degrees in the UK. It's absolutely a waste of
Oh.
money.
I think they should have to declare like their allegiances. That's what they should.
Yeah,
They sort of do, but they don't.
some of them are
None of the big
nice. I
ones
mean,
do.
some of them are not. Like Jamie Jackson's nice. I've ran into him a couple times. He stops and talks. He's a good guy. Like some of
The
them are
old
really
school
nice.
ones, though, aren't they?
Yeah, I don't
Old
have a
school
problem with it.
journos.
He may not be a
The-
United fan, but Jamie Jackson, I got time for Jamie. He's got some. His book about Ollie is really good. If you guys haven't read that, The Red Apprentice.
He knows people. He
Yeah.
is quite well connected. Yeah.
But yeah, guys, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe. If you weren't able to catch the video live, leave a comment with your thoughts. You guys know I check those comments and get involved as well. We are on the road to 4K, so make sure that you guys just do your part, right? Hype, share. Go check some of the videos. They're in the description if you want to learn a little bit more about like why I love Adam Wharton and Mamadou Sangare so much. I've done soul videos on these guys as well. We got a scouting report coming out hopefully tomorrow for you guys. I was going to do it today, but I had to drop my wife off at the airport and it all kind of conflicted with the time. So try to get that one out for you tomorrow. I do a lot of scouting reports. Speaking of which, memberships, best way to get involved in the content. We've got a WhatsApp group
Get
for
in there.
Starting 11 and Legends members. Those members also get to contribute to scouting report suggestions. If you can find a player that is quality that I haven't scouted yet, more power to you. But if you do so,
You get
you,
extra special credit if you can
you get a
find one
little
that's
you get a
short.
little twinkle twinkle when any little member can give
Little
a shout
special
out.
credit.
It hasn't happened
Oh,
often, but it has happened. So keep it in
also,
mind.
anyone who hasn't, go and vote on our rebuild because I checked it today and we've got 15 votes
Oh
so
man, I
far.
completely forgot about all that. I'm so like it's like cramming for a test. Once I'm done, I kind of move on and start moving. I'm always just moving forward, so I need to go back and
It's
check on
quite
some of that.
close. It ain't.
Yeah.
There ain't we've all got some votes. I won't say who's winning.
All right. Yeah, you went full on. I think yeah. You guys play the audience a little bit. It's all good. It's all good. But yeah, go check all that stuff, you guys. Members, again, hype the video if you can on your phone. It really does help YouTube's algorithm grab a hold of that channel and throw it in front of more people, which is really
Oh
the
yeah.
whole point, right? We want more opinions, more thoughts, more members in the community because I do think that makes for a good conversation. But you guys are absolute legends. Ian, you're a legend for jumping on today. Dylan,
Always.
hope you're killing it tonight at pool. Dylan captains his
He
pool
better
team.
be. He better be. He
Um,
said he was going to win tonight.
Dude,
Giving it.
Dylan,
Giving it.
Dylan, man, when Dylan's good, man. When he and I were in Manchester, like I said, we went to the ballroom down there, right by Dave's, right by the National Football Museum, to kill some
Mm.
time. We probably ran through a couple dozen of games in maybe an hour and a half because he and I have both played a very long time. So when we play, like it's very very fast. Um, but
Well, do you
it's a
play?
good
Not do you play American 9 ball? Is it 9 ball or pool? Proper pool?
It's usually just it's not 9 ball, it's 8 ball. Usually just play, but whatever they've got, you just set it up and run table. So it's fun. Maybe next time we'll go back and hustle some folks. Just saying, or get chased around and stabbed.
Oh yeah.
Speaking of
That's
chased
more
around and
likely.
stabbed, I might be going to Anfield next year. We'll see. I don't know
I'm
yet.
trying to tell him not to. Honestly, his wife will never get the smell out.
Yeah, well, we'll see.
You'll never
It's
be
just
the
so
same
tempting.
again.
It's so tempting to just walk in full kit and just drop your coat and just bear it proudly.
Yeah, I mean, what the thing is, actually, now the way they are, especially around there, they probably you would be advised not to go in. The
They would
police
let
would
me in.
actually stop
Oh
you.
man,
No, the police would actually stop you and say, "We don't think that's a very good idea."
that's then I tell
They'd
them, you know what?
warn
Go
you.
get me a suite then. Go get me a suite if you don't want me in the stands.
Well, this
I
is
paid
it.
for my ticket, so you're getting me in
But
here.
yeah, they're a different kind of dirt over there. Just think of the worst place you
That's funny.
wouldn't go in America, and times that by 10.
I ain't scared of no scouts. They're not real people.
No.
Um, all right, guys. Thank you again. Take it easy, Ian. Thank you again, my friend. Say goodbye to the lovely
Always.
legends.
Peace. See you
Later,
later,
guys.
legends.
We'll see you tomorrow. Scouting report. Talk to you.